Australians get their news from Channel 9 than from any other source.
The AFL Pre-Season Cup, brought to you by the Air Force, Holden, Carlton Draft, Vita 10, and choose happiness. Choose Cadbury.
Good evening and welcome to Nine's Wide World of Sports. Tonight from the Gabba, where we have the Brisbane Lions taking on the Adelaide Crows. Also a good evening to Gerard Healy.
Good on you, Dermot. And reality striking now for the Brisbane players. No longer are they the premiership heroes. They've got to play some solid footy tonight because they're up against the Adelaide Crows, who are desperate to get away to a better start than last season.
They're pretty keen to atone for a slow start last year. And there we have the teams out on the ground. Anthony Mithen is down on boundary line, and I believe he has the coaches not too far. Mitho, good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you, Derm. I've got Gary Ayres. He's that keen. They've come out a few minutes early, and you said during the week or a week or so ago that you're in this competition to win it. You're taking it very seriously, and the acid test will be put to a few.
Yeah, it will be, Anthony. And look, obviously last year's premiers, it's a big start for us, but we've had really poor starts the last 2 years, so we've tried to identify this Wizard Cup as to try and get some guys in form, get some confidence, and hopefully just get our momentum going if we can. It's obviously got to start here tonight. Pleased with the pre-season, a few of your pickups, Massey, Nelson, those types, Shell as well? Yeah, we are. Unfortunately, Chris Massey's not playing because he just jagged his hamstring on Monday night. But, look, I'm sure every coach says his preparation is fine, and it'll all be revealed in the next month. It will indeed. Good luck, Gary, tonight. Back to you, Derm.
Thanks, Mitho. Cross back down to you shortly. He's serious, Gary Ayres, and he's brought a serious team with him as well.
He has indeed. The bad news is that there's no Darren Jarman. He has moved on to retirement, but the great news is that the Birdman's here. He could take Mark of the Year tonight, Dermot.
Let's hope.
Worth watching just for that fact. Andrew McLeod, well, he is a superstar, and Rashudo, the captain, he had a fairly ordinary year last year, was struck down with some groin problems, and he'll be desperate to atone. Finished the year well last year, and they recovered Adelaide after a poor start to almost snatch a spot in the finals.
Well, Simon Goodwin's been in brilliant form over the last couple of years.
He has, and he had a magnificent year last year, Dermot, until he just let one fumble through his hands in the Australian game, but we'll forgive him for that. But if Simon Goodwin continues on as he did last year, he is going to finish up as one of the very, very finest ruck rovers we've seen in the modern era.
Yeah, hardcore athlete there. Let's cross back down to the boundary line now. Anthony Mithen has the opposing coach, Lee Matthews, with him.
Thanks, Derm. And Lee, you go from the hunters to the hunted, don't you, this year? And how do you coach for that sort of scenario?
Well, you don't, basically, because that's against the other mob, other hunters, if that's the case. Oh, no, I think we're back in the contest. I've got that tension in the pit of my stomach that's pretty familiar. It's like an old friend, but I haven't felt it for about 5 months. And that's every contest, every game we go out, that's going to be there. And winning and losing in 2.5 hours' time, none of us know what's going to happen, really.
Who's been the track star of your pre-season to look out for tonight?
Well, I guess of the guys that are a little more unproven, Des Headland's had a really good summer, so he's one that's elevated himself a little bit more physically, because obviously we've only played a game amongst ourselves, but we're hoping he can burst his way in, I guess, to our top 15. He was in the team for most of the year, but to actually get in maybe our best 15.
Good luck tonight. I think everyone's looking forward to seeing the 2001 Premiers in action.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks, Lee. Back to you, Doom.
Thanks, Smitho. Well, they've given a few opportunities, Gerard, to young guys.
They are, and some of the names that you won't recognise. Shane Morrison, his father Peter played for the Swans. Darren Bradshaw is the brother of Daniel Bradshaw. Ashley McGrath is the brother of Corey McGrath, who plays for Essendon. And Jason Graham is the #1 pick, Luke Weller. His father played for Richmond, so genetics running through the Brisbane side at the moment. But as Lee said, big chance now for Des Headland. He played 19 straight last year, got dropped for the finals. Hadley, Shattuck and Bolton, all kids in about their 4th or 5th year that have got a big chance to prove something tonight.
Well, this bloke has got some pretty special attributes on screen now, Jonathan Brown.
He has. Most people regard him as the next big thing, but whereabouts is he at the moment, Dermot?
I think he's just got to keep hitting up the ground and working both ways. He's just got to keep crushing bodies. He's a big, strong kid, and he's got a great pair of hands, and he's going to learn the game even better as he goes on. Well, we've got a little bit of a secret to let you in on tonight, the viewer. The umpires are going to be mic'd, Gerard. We're going to hear everything they say.
Well, that'll be most enlightening, Dermot. Sometimes we're mystified by the decisions. This will clarify it.
Well, we'll be back after the break with the rest of the commentary team for the Brisbane v Adelaide clash.
It was to be the biggest day of their lives.
Wedding dress, check. I forgot the rings.
No! But fate had other ideas.
Everything's fine. I just got a little bit delayed.
Sandra Bullock and Ben Affleck.
You really should get some thrills in your life before you die.
I think something may be wrong with you.
In the romantic movie premiere about the choices we all face.
I'm getting married tomorrow, and I cannot make myself leave this room.
This is the rest of your life, and possibly somebody else's.
Forces of Nature, 8:30 Sunday on 9.
Monaro is back. Game over. Cascade Premium Light. Pure premium taste.
Footy fans, if you have the passion, we have the power. The power needs you to cheer them to victory in 2002. And the smartest way to do it is with a season ticket. Prices start at $110 for adults and $39 for children for 11 home games, including Showdown 12. For all inquiries and to get the best deal for you and your family, ring the Power Hotline now on 8447 9900. Don't waste your passion. See the game live. Ring 8447 9900 now.
Look at her hair. It's so lovely and shiny.
It's lovely and shiny, isn't it?
What are you, a mind reader?
I'm a hairdresser.
It's that hairdresser. Oh, what's his name?
I bet she uses Sunsilk Maximum Shine. I think it's the best shampoo around for gorgeous silky hair.
Sunsilk. I like the sound of that. I like the look of him. I wonder if he's...
Yeah, sorry, I am. It's okay.
The Monaro Man of the Match. Win a Monaro Hot Lap with Peter Brock and other V8 supercar drivers in an all-new Holden Monaro. Call now, say Monaro, game over, and register your vote for who you think is the Monaro Man of the Match. Watch the next game and the Monaro Man of the Match will be revealed along with the lucky home viewer. There's one winner every game. Get yourself a Monaro Hot Lap. Call now. Don't forget to say Monaro, game over. The Monaro Man of the Match.
Finally, the adventure has begun, and already, one's gone. Now, as reality hits,
freezing cold, boiling hot,
the backstabbing starts.
You call them nerds, morons.
This is no holiday.
Go, 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 go. I'm sad, I'm nervous.
The flies, the funk.
Filmed right here in South Australia.
You won't believe what's around the corner. Brand new All-Australian Survivor, 8:30 Wednesday on 9.
Welcome back to the Gabba for the Adelaide Crows taking on the Brisbane Lions, and the game not far away, toss being affected, and the Brisbane Lions will be taking off to the right-hand side of screen. Let's cross down to the boundary now, and Anthony Mithen has Dr. Peter Larkins with him.
Yeah, we just walked across the ground a few moments ago, and surprisingly, a little bit soft underfoot, Pete.
Yeah, certainly, Mytho. The ground here is much softer than Colonial, and running along officially be a dead track in racing parlance. A little heavy on the legs tonight. Conditions here pretty good, guys. It's running at just under 27 degrees, about 60% humidity, which and very little wind. So as a heat stress index factor, it's really in low to medium risk for players tonight. Brisbane with some big names missing, of course. Michael Voss, Alistair Lynch and Justin Leppich, all 3 to 4 weeks away with their injuries. Simon Black, named originally to play tonight, out with some bruised ribs. So he could be a week or two away before he gets back with the Brisbane side.
Thanks very much, Doc, and a pleasure now to welcome the two commentators for the evening, Dwayne Russell and Dennis Cometti.
Great to be here, Dermot. The last time Brisbane lost a game, it was to the Adelaide Crows, and they went on and won 16 in a row after that and won the flag. Looking forward to this one thoroughly.
And I'll correct myself there, Dennis, because the Adelaide Crows will be kicking to the left-hand side of screen.
Okay, the umpires tonight, Kelsey, McKenzie, Golspink and Davis, and away we go. Game 5 of the Wizard Cup from Group 4. Opening bounce. Ruckman White. McDonald taps it down. Rashudo tries to soccer it forward. Clark picks it up, gets a hand pass away. This is hard over the football. Knocks it back. Stenglein hurriedly inside the 50. Chance for the Crows. Binky tries to get a hand pass away. McDonald off the deck. Only as far as this man, Clark, inside the centre square. Former best and fairest with the Lions.
Sean Hart has the unenviable spot of picking up Andrew McLeod.
Clark went for Shell, but dropping in the way Lappin, acting captain tonight for the Lions in the absence of the great Voss. On the outer side for Brisbane, Shattuck, who we'll see a bit of. He was in good form last week, and we expect he'll play a big role tonight. Ackermanis, who is the new cold hero after winning that Brownlow medal last year and playing in the premiership side. High, long kick, power up forward, and the ball out of play, and that'll give both teams a chance to catch their breath and reset.
Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. Hold it.
There's Luke Power, a magnificent small forward, but with the absence of a number of their midfielders, he's going to get an opportunity to prove that that is his spot, and I think he'll do it particularly well.
Boundary throw in out his side. McDonald taps it down. Stenglein tackled immediately. The umpire's mic tonight.
I think we're going to find a little bit of a scrappy game to start with in the middle of the ground. Adelaide do follow the ball around and like to put pressure in the corridor, and Brisbane are obviously pretty good at it as well.
McLeod with the outside of the boot towards the wing. Timely fist from Ashcroft. Downwind McGregor. Spills wide. Chance for Bowe. Dug it out of there nicely. Back to McGregor. Hooks it across the body towards half forward. Burton camped in front. Strong hands. You can hear the umpire again. Would have been handy in Salt Lake City. Russian judge and the French judge wire them up for sound. Binky is up, couldn't hang on. Opportunity, McLaren sliding in, lost it. It was at Morrison. It was Morrison. Binky's got it now. High ball floats down towards the pocket. Coming back is Hart, takes the mark on his chest.
Good determination from Hart. Norm Smith medal winner to Michael, part of the Malloy swap, and happy to be back at his old home, but bad kick. Stenglein cut it off. Too far out to score, just beyond 50. High kick. Again, they look for Shell. The new recruit got a hand to it. Michael over the ball. Scott was there. Left it in the end for McRae. Heads wide, and now they're away, Brisbane. This is one of the two Bradshaws. Daniel, the better known, his brother also playing tonight, Darren. Holds up play. Looks for an option up forward, and he turns it over straight to McGregor, who holds it up and allows Adelaide to reassess after looking like they were going to concede at least a score.
High ball towards the wing.
Interesting to note then, Dennis, too, that everybody actually pulled away from Bradshaw. They didn't confront him and try and rush at him. They pulled away and tried to corral him and kick to numbers.
Edwards booted it further afield. Now a chance for Johnson. Got it from Rutten. Goodwin in trouble. Down he goes. Power applied the tackle. Lappin under the pump as well. Bolton on his own defensive 50. Helping hand across the line. Boundary throw in about 45 metres around from the behind post. Attacking end for the Crows. Still no score. Good strong tackle. Luke Power, a hallmark of Brisbane last season. Tossed in, off hands. Prosciutto trying to find a path, going nowhere, dragged down by Scott. Two tough hombres there, and we'll have a throw up.
I think the other hallmark of Brisbane last year was that they were by far the best team in the competition at getting the ball away from these sorts of stoppages. And they haven't got Simon Black or Michael Voss, two of the guns, at it tonight, but it's still an important facet of their game.
Johnson, the last of the Fitzroy swap players, gave it out. They got it forward to the second of the two Bradshaws. This is Darren. High kick towards full forward, one-on-one contest. Free kick against Brown, perhaps to McGregor. He's not happy. But you called it, Jared, early. You thought it was there.
Well, you just can't grab a bloke and push him out of the way, as we see happening there. That's manhandling. He's just got to learn to use his body better.
Good one through the middle. Got it from McGregor. Tackled low down. Will get the free, but lucky there. Trying to barge through. Umpire Kelsey across to adjudicate. Here's Bode. Hopefully fit and raring to go this season. He's lost some weight, about 55 metres out, probing, kick down towards full forward Burton. A terrific grab about 2 metres off the line. Nice angle for the right footer, though.
His hands have already troubled Copeland, just on the stretch out onto the wing a few minutes ago.
Runs around their freaky hands, and he gets the goal.
Well, if Adelaide can do...
Monaro is back. Game over.
So the Birdman kicks the opening goal of the game, the opening goal for Adelaide. They started badly the last two seasons, the Crows. Zip 5 and zip 3 their past 2 years. And Gary Ayres has them fired up for a good start to this season. Clark to do the ruck work for Adelaide. And Beau McDonald up against him. Bad bounce, and that allows Headland to get the knock straight down to McLeod. In hard, Adelaide players in the clinches, but Hart will come up with it. To the acting captain, Lappin. Now to Johnson. Caught a little high by Edwards. Got caught again. Umpire said play on. That allows Johnson to Rashudo. Long kick. Burton again inside 50. Did he hold it long enough?
Push. He's paid the push on him because Copeland knew he was done. Burton coughed it up at the end, so he just pushed him in the chest, running with the flight of the ball. Correct decision. Watch him come through here. Takes his eyes off the ball. Hands in the stomach. Not aggressive, but enough to make him lose balance and just separate the hands, so he coughed up the mark.
He wins all the runs in training, does Brett Burton, whether it be 500 metres or 5,000 metres. He is a true athlete, and it's great to see him with the knee brace off. 45-degree angle, a chance to make it 2. Lines up from inside 50, kicks slightly across the face. Chance for the Leapers to go up. Boat in the goal square. Can't get there in time, and it's a behind to Adelaide. 1-1. Brisbane yet to score.
And one of the great things about the Wizard Cup is that everybody comes into this after 3 or 4 months of rest. They're physically at their best, and you see the most athletic events of the season almost unfold. And Brett Burton, well, let's hope that he can produce even some of his more final marks.
Johnson short to Lappin. Pinpoints this one to Scott. Big test for Brisbane tonight. Missing 9 premiership players. There's Bolton on the wing, goes down towards half forward. Brown surrounded. Clark goes back, fisted away McGregor. Ackermanis can't keep it in. Boundary throw it. Crown wanting a free kick.
Clever by McGregor there. All you have to do against an opponent is just make out you're going to hold him down and give him body contact. If there's a ruckman around, he can just come over the top. You just got to make out you're going to jostle and keep his 2 feet on the ground.
Rucks lock up. Clark directs it down. Smothered off the boot McLeod initially. Good one. High in the air. Knocked forward by Smart. against the flow. Ashcroft, whoops, the look away hand pass. Only Scott, the recipient, was looking away. McLeod pulled off it. Johnson's got it. Cruising past is Smart. Away he goes. Kicks down towards half forward. Burton again. Bolton is there. Got a fist on it. Who's got the recovery? Burton, well played. Gets a hand pass away. A looper over the top there from Doherty. Now a chance on the outer side from Binky, and Binky's kicked the goal.
Third time they've gone.
If you've ever had to organise a weekend away, imagine getting 120 people halfway around the world on a critical overseas deployment. We packed 4 Hercules and a Boeing 707 with everything to make a squadron self-sufficient, from Hornet missiles to combat rations and medical supplies. At the end of the day, we realised it was a massive undertaking, and I was pretty proud of the team and myself for doing that.
Adelaide 2-1-13. Brisbane yet to score. Binky's goal, the second for Adelaide, and he starred in Adelaide's practice match against Norwood last week, kicking 5. McDonald, the big knock, but down to Smart. Smart through traffic, kicks it wide. Rashudo leads the race with Ackermanis. Ackermanis, Rashudo. Ackermanis has got it. Kick around the body. Looks for a target up forward. It's Headland. Caught. Good tackle. Rip his shorts off to Power. Oh. Kick around the body. And by McDonald. We've got Valentine's Day week. And we've got 2 hearts here tonight, Dermot. And a nice bow up forward. Taking the mark there for the Lions, and he should give them their first score.
Beautifully worked. Yeah, I'll back him in for a score from here, but he's no great shakes off the boot.
This was a clever kick, though, wasn't it?
Oh, beautiful.
The
great
two
vision, though, as he's turned out to get the vision going back inside.
Power and McDonald did share a house last year, so they know each other well. Wow. And he kicks the goal to open the scoring for the Brisbane Lions.
As you called there, just beautiful vision from Luke Power. I mean, it's always, I suppose it's a toss-up whether you think it's easy or hard, but sometimes your vision just extends directly in front of your shirt front, and that's where you look down the line here. You see Luke Power getting on the end of this, and it'd be so easy for him just to blaze at goals there, but he's had the quick look over the shoulder first, and he's opened up, and under pressure he always knew where he was going to pop that one. So good play.
Good use of the hands by Des Headland also to set Luke Power up. But Beau McDonald is so important to this Brisbane lineup. As we said earlier, they are damaging at stoppages, but mainly because he gets his hand on the ball first, and it's a big job in front of Clark to nullify that.
Grows by 7 points. Clark over the shoulder. Johnson dragged down. Jarred out of there. Headland. McDonald. Ackermanis. Johnson inside the 50 to fumble. Stenglein got him down. Crashing through Edwards. Well played, the hand pass from McGregor. Back to Edwards, drives it around the outer side. Johnson gathers the bouncing ball, goes over the shoulder. Bode sent into space, goes back to Johnson. Johnson runs down towards right half forward, pulls it back towards the middle. Lappin knocks it down in front. McLeod, the will-o'-the-wisp, gets it across to Rashudo from 45. How will it bounce? It runs on. Wrong side of the post, behind.
Well, it's interesting that Gary Ayres has isolated a number of their star players, Brisbane, and tagged them up. Kane Johnson on Nigel Lappin, and Sean Hart is running with Andrew McLeod. Both of them have got the grand final medal. But I think the most interesting one is Chris Scott. He's being tagged by Tyson Edwards.
Michael, Headland, Scott, and now Lappin up forward. Brown's got it inside 50. They've worked it well, the Lions. Might be cut off in defence. Stenglein there. Now McGregor for the Adelaide Crows.
He started well.
Thanks. Played at centre half back and has been tipped to have a roll up forward, but they've decided to recruit Shell this year. And they've given him the opportunity at full forward. Clark knocks down towards Bickley, couldn't break free. Stenglein again. Ackermanis getting a bit of it now. It's the handball out. A high centering ball to the top of the square. Up flies Brown. Crashed the pack. McRae off the deck, but it's offline. Only a behind. But at least the Lions are starting to get inside 50 a few more times.
All about recovery there as the ball goes to the outer side. Doherty stretches, releases Smart, who kicks it down towards half forward. Going back with a flight is Burton, pretty solidly, bounces off Shattuck though. It's at right half forward. 55 metres out. Sets it up. Binky in from the side. Should mark it. And he has. Well, it was always his ball. He came from 5 metres just sitting off the pack.
Well, Des Headland had 2 grabs taken on him and a free kick with Brett Burton, and he's actually moved over onto Brian Binky now, and he's conceded, I think, his 3rd or 4th possession against him in this opening few minutes, with Brian Binky taking a grab inside the goal square.
Check side. And I think he's got it. He likes it. Goal.
I think leadership is about bringing the best out of people, and that's why I became an Air Force officer. It's given me the environment to explore my potential and those of others.
Yes, we'll come to your home. Outdoor areas need to be planned thoroughly, and we've plenty of ideas.
Softwoods design and quote free of charge at your home, because nothing's too hard at Softwoods.
Sure, we'll help you.
13-point lead to Adelaide, and we've got just under 8 minutes remaining in the opening term. Clark and McDonald in the ruck. McDonald got the hand to it, couldn't find a decisive knockout. In the end, Stengline stole it, and again Burton takes the mark up forward for Adelaide. The Birdman is flying just outside 50, heads with a long bomb to the goal square. It's way offline, and it's out of play on the full.
Now, look, it's easy to kick one out of bounds on the full from that distance, but where he lets himself down a little bit is that he had a good lead on, and he was just flat-footed when he looked up to kick the ball forward. If he had been a bit sharper and a little bit more nimble on his feet to kick it, he would have found that leading player.
Michael out of defence. High ball towards half-back. Clark missed it with a fist. Goodwin leads back in the race. McRae's got him. Hand pass comes across to Rutten. Gets the hand pass away and turn to Edwards. Close to the boundary line. They work it well. Bickley towards the pocket. Will it stay in? No, it floats out of bounds.
Well, the scores 20 points to 7 are reflective in who's got the ball, because Adelaide actually haven't recorded an effective tackle so far, and Brisbane have attempted 12. So they're chasing tail at the moment, Brisbane.
Where you are, Brent? Where you are?
Craig Bolton in the back pocket.
Thank you, Brent.
Hugs the boundary line with the kick. Clark again, uncontested virtually. McDonald misjudging. Clark gets the hand pass away. Kick comes from Bowe towards centre half forward. Burton, the big leap. Everyone holds their collective breath. Here's a chance for McLeod, wrestling with Bolton. It's not coming out, and umpire Kelsey wants it.
Good tackling. All right, Eddie.
Thank you, umpire. So a bounce just inside the 50. Always meant something when the umpire paid you a compliment, didn't it?
Didn't mean much when he just called you by number. Move over, number 6. Knew you weren't playing well then.
That happened to you too.
Well, often did. Johnson's been tackled here by Lappin, the acting captain, and umpire Ray Kelsey will have to do it all again.
I never found them so polite.
Jared, at least they knew your name.
Yeah, they did, because they used to say, we'll see you Tuesday night, Doom.
They gave votes to Jared.
Mr. Healy.
Yes, that's true. Ball up, McLeod, the superstar. Goodwin kicks it outside, attacking 50, and Headland has taken the mark. Not 15, the new rule. Lappin, wide, McRae. Now a chance for the Lions. If McRae can find a target with this kick. Stops. Well held up by Goodwin. Wobbly ball, and once again McGregor cuts it off for Adelaide. Stengline. Edwards. Chip to the wing. If it's grabbed by Doherty, they're away. He does grab it now. Through the midfield. Bode can kick a goal from outside 50. Goes to the top of the square. Where is he? He's there, but he can't mark it, Burton. Michael, the crumb, comes up with it, and they'll work it out at defence if Lappin can get his handball over the top. He does in the end. And finally, the chip kick from Copeland finds the target. Bolton on defensive 50.
Bolton again then, very conscious of Burton. Goes to Ashcroft, who marks just forward of right half back. Glorious night for football. So far, no interchange. Fremantle last night, I did that game, rotating their players in blocks of 4 and 5. Almost needed their own banner. Kick comes across from Bolton to centre half back. Copeland's got it. Loose man to the far side is Michael. Johnson is the next link in the chain. Michael goes to his now, and he's got the ball on the wing. Runner inside, thought about going there. Props, forced to kick hurriedly down towards left half forward. It pitches just inside the field of play. Bassett goes after it, can't keep it in. Boundary throw in. Adelaide by 13 points, approaching quarter time.
Well, the Crows have taken the crowd out of it, haven't they? They've just put enough on the board that the crowd isn't in it at all at the moment, giving them no atmosphere here. The Lions.
Brown over the top, knocked the ball down. Johnson for Adelaide. Stengline, Edwards, and also Clark there for Adelaide. And it is noticeable that there are more Adelaide players at the fall of the ball.
Absolutely. You see them running through the midfield as well. On the burst going forward, they've got numbers with it.
McDonald down, but again, Adelaide with the numbers. Johnson along the boundary, and Doherty allows it to roll out of play. And they would be happy, Adelaide, if they went in at quarter time with this scoreline. Good start for them.
Even that ball going over the boundary then, you saw 3 Adelaide players in the one shot and 2 Brisbane. They're outnumbered all the time through the midfield.
McDonald, 20 plays 7. Here's Bode across half-back, plenty of time. Lays the ball into the path of Hart. He runs onto it, left half-back, Props. Goes by Bradshaw with the kick, up towards the wing. Goodwin feeds it back towards the middle. Bode's run on. Kicks down towards half-forward, honouring the lead from Burton. Up he goes, surrounded. Shattuck got a fist on it, knocked away by Hart, wide of the pack. Taken there by Doherty, got the hand pass away. Edwards, question of accuracy, and he's got it.
The loose ball bounces into the middle. The pack converges over the footy. Oh, crunching tackle, and it's on. We're all getting stuck into it now, and the crowd's loving it.
Golden draft, thanks. Casual Living Furniture have Adelaide's largest range of outdoor furniture. For a short time and only until sold out, outdoor settings, benches and umbrellas out at up to 40% off. Make your outdoor living casual living. Keswick, Marion and Enfield.
Crows by 19 points in the shadows of quarter time. 4-2 plays 1-1. Clark doing well in the ruck against McDonald, so there's a change there being made. McLaren now in the ruck for Brisbane, and there will be a secondary ball up for being given to the umpire by Aaron Shattuck. Bounce the ball up again. Ball comes down to Shattuck. It's a wobbly kick towards half forward. Chance for McGregor, can't get there. Second to the Bradshaws, knocks it on Darren, but McLeod beats everybody to it around the boundary line, and a kick that does find the line. Only a couple of minutes to go in the term, and McLeod on screen, 2-time Norm Smith medal winner, being shadowed by Sean Hart,
who's got one of those himself.
McGregor there, worse for wear. Meantime, McLaren thumps at Goldwood. Chopped off by Hart. This is Rashudo, feeds it back. Support comes from Doherty. He puts it out of bounds on the full. Under pressure. A bit of the Tony McGuinness is about him. Same number, same appearance. Just moves the same way. Here's Ackermanis in the background. McDonald going down the race, and now the ball finally with Bradshaw. Not sure why, but he's got a free kick on the outer side. Told to play on. They've got 15 seconds. He sets it up. Big pack at the drop off hands. A chance for Lappin. Was he taken high? Not according to the umpire. Ricochets back towards McLaren. Goes across to Bradshaw. Pulls it back across the body. Not far enough. Out of bounds on the full.
It was a chance to get that around the neck then, I thought, because his head was down to pick the ball up. It's not as if he ducked into it. Thought he was down long enough trying to win the ball off the deck. So he was a bit stiff not to win that one.
Tyson Stengline entrusted with the bring in from the back pocket. Clark high, couldn't bring it down. Ackermanis, bottom of the pack, gets the handball out, stolen by Clark. Rashudo, handball backwards. Bickley into the corridor. Ashcroft couldn't mark it. Bode fighting hard on the ground. Ball comes out. Johnson there with Burton. Johnson caught a little high. Burton doesn't agree. Ashcroft, who has played 297 games all up, day, night and state games. Lappin, acting captain, as we said tonight, to Hart. Big kick this. Short pass, full forward, and it's been marked at full forward by Jonathan Brown, and he might have the last say of the term.
Well, he was stiff there, Stengline, young Ian Stengline, Tyson Stengline, I should say, because he left his man Jonathan Brown. He's done a magnificent job on him in this opening term. He hasn't had a kick yet, Brown, but he left him to go forward to put some pressure on there. You saw it on the replay. which opened up Brown, who ran into space, and he'll get a shot at goal. And by golly, I think the Lions need this one just to get themselves a little bit of confidence.
Well, if he kicks this, they're only 2 goals down, and they're playing a whole lot worse than only being 2 goals to the worse.
You can see the angle on your screen. 45 degrees. And from 20 metres out, drop putt is perfect. He kicked 2 in the grand final last year, and he opens up with 1 for the first term here.
Well, this is actually a good result for Brisbane because they're playing pretty poorly and they're still only 2 goals down. It looks like, with 1:32 left in this first opening quarter, that they're going to go in just a couple down, and that's a very good result for the way they've come out and performed.
Well, here's another look at it. Nigel Lappin, as always, thinking even under pressure.
Yeah.
He was falling to ground. You see there how Jonathan Brown ducked out the back and got into some open space.
Big nut, I guess, for the Lions, taking their first step, trying to do what the Crows did in 97 and 98 and go back to back. Humble beginnings. They're down by 13 points at the moment. 4-2-2-1. Just over 90 seconds to quarter time. Interesting duel on the ball. McLaren won it forward. Goodwin goes over the top, emerging with it. Lappin. They stay off him. Lappin, plenty of time. He can't hurt you. He kicks inside the 50. Bradshaw in front, had it fisted away, taken by McLeod, throws it on the boot, comes back to Lappin. Got their own tennis match going here. Lappin, he'll send it back in again alongside the centre circle. Looks towards the pocket this time, and Brown fisted away down there. Chance for McRae, dragged off it. Stengline gets a fist. Hart tries to clear a path. Down he goes. Bradshaw is over the footy now, claimed by Hart, and we'll have a throw up about 35 metres out from goal, approaching quarter time. 26 plays 13. The Crows on top.
Cap from behind. Cap from behind.
Watch out from behind, the call. Umpire's marked up. McLeod got the knockdown, couldn't get a possession away. Neither can Stengline, missed the boot with the ball. Big pack around it. And the umpire will have to yell clear a path once again. 13 plays 26, less than a minute remaining. Opening term of the opening game of the Wizard Home Loans Cup for both these teams. Adelaide with a trial last week against Norwood. Brisbane with a trial internally last week. Clark knocks it down. Ackermanis kicks around the body, off the left, high, forward pocket. Brown up. Can't bring the ball down with him.
Well, Tyson Stengline's been moved on to Jonathan Brown. Stengline's not a small man, but he's not in Jonathan Brown's class or league in terms of body size. Ken McGregor has actually had to go off the ground, and so he's just having his physical presence felt by Stengline in the last couple of minutes.
Clock running down. McRae hooks it and misses. Good effort under real pressure that time. Man right across his boot. Nigel Lappin has been busy. 9 disposals in the quarter. Several of them coming in the last 30 seconds or so. There's the siren. Quarter time. Interesting first term, as Dermot said. The Crows probably should be further in front on balance of play. They lead 4-2-26 to the Lions 2-2-14.
Simon Goodwin playing on the back flank there, picking up Craig McRae. McRae with the last shot on goals there. Marcus Ashcroft hasn't had a lot to do yet. But here we have the Brisbane Lions going into the huddle. Let's see if they can come out after quarter time and redeem themselves. Brisbane 2-2-14 trail the Adelaide Crows 4-2-26.
Hey, dudes. They're sucking you in.
Exposed. Virus marketing. Devious. The latest thing in advertising.
Whoa, look at the results.
And you don't even know you've been had.
If you know you're being marketed to, we're not doing our job.
Also, Richard Carlton confronts Yasser Arafat.
How this can be accepted?
And hee-haw, why country is suddenly cool. When Toyota presents 60 Minutes, Sunday 7:30.
Right, let's see what the buffheads have got to say.
Hello, Brian. You decided to join us.
The No Regrets Home Loans. Make it happen.
Toyota's causing a real sensation, so while stocks last, you can get a 2001 Avalon V6 Conquest Automatic with power steering, all-round power windows, power mirrors, driver's SRS airbag, central locking immobilizer, and free air for the sensational once-only price of just $28,990 drive away, no more to pay. So jump into Toyota's sensational 2001 stock sell-off today, because there's no better feeling than a Toyota sale.
Royal Adelaide Showgrounds. This one was $20. We've sold 18,000 of them for $11. Now this one's to $6.60. That's a further 40% off. Royal Adelaide Showgrounds. Look at this stuff. Look at it. Look at this stuff. Bras, briefs, G-strings, matching sets. All this stock new in the plastic. Sizes, no problem. Styles, more than enough to fill your entire wardrobe. Colours of the rainbow. The deal, a further minimum 40% off the already reduced prices. The stuff is already below cost. We'll be here till midnight tonight. We'll be here till midnight tomorrow. There is no extensions. Ladies, the Royal Adelaide Showground. Ladies, if you can use more intimate apparel, if your old stuff's looking a bit tired, if you just want to spoil yourself, ladies, take a further minimum 40% straight off the top. No conditions. The Royal Adelaide Showgrounds.
The No Regrets Home Loans. Lock it in now and secure your future at 5.99% per annum. Fixed for 3 years with no establishment fees. Which bank gives you a home loan you won't regret? Make it happen.
You might have the courage to be dragged behind horses. Or even the guts to line a sealed coffin of snakes.
Oh, that is so wrong.
But what would it take for you to eat bull's testicles?
Let's get the bucket. Let's get the bucket.
How far would you go for $50,000? And the best thing is, it's all Australian.
Is there a beer on hand?
Hold on for one hell of a ride.
That is insane!
When Fear Factor premieres Tuesday, 7:30 on 9. The AFL Pre-Season Cup, brought to you by the Air Force, Holden, Carlton Draft, official beer of the AFL, Mitre 10, and choose happiness. Choose Cadbury.
Nine's Wide World of Sports. Brian Biggie from the Adelaide Crows taking a big grab and a conversion to boot on top of it. Starring for the Adelaide Crows along with several other players here at the Gabba on Saturday night. Let's take a look at the tail at the moment at quarter time. Brisbane 2-2-14 trailing Adelaide 4-2-26 with Brian Biggie, the major goal scorer, on the ground. 2 goals straight to his credit. Let's cross down now to the boundary line where we have Anthony Mithen and Dr. Peter Larkins.
Yes, thanks, Dermot. He might only be 20, but Jonathan Brown gathered his forward troops and really gave him just a chat and a talking to try and get a bit of system in the forward line, but all slaps on the back in the Adelaide camp for the B team, Benke and Burton. They are on fire, no doubt about that. Now, you've got an injury report, Doc.
Yeah, Ken McGregor didn't leave the dugout at quarter time, icing up the right knee. Came off just about 4 minutes before the break, having got a knock on the knee. Bit of concern about his medial ligament, where they've been looking at there, so it remains to be seen if he gets back there tonight. Quarter time, the cooling vests out there, and Brisbane with the big ice packs around the neck, trying to keep the arteries cool, helps to keep their brain cool.
They try everything, don't they, Derm?
Absolutely. Well, Gerard Healy, your daytime profession, so to speak. I don't know if you still practice that hard anymore, man of leisure. Was as a physiotherapist. Well, how did you read that one?
Well, I think the doc's right. You saw his knee buckle inwards, and that put some stress on the medial ligament. And just on the face of it, as we have a look at Lee Matthews walking to the huddle, walking back to his spot with his problems. Oof. There it is. You just saw a knock, and let's just hope it is only a medial ligament, because that looked fairly nasty. But Dermot, it is an interesting injury. You pointed out that he started on Brown, and Brown came into his own just in the last minute with a possession. But we know that McGregor had his measure for the first quarter. Whether or not Stengline can do it for the entirety of the match, who knows?
Well, he's not a small bloke, Stengline. You know, he's around the 6'2" mark, but he's a running midfield type tagger, even though he's, you know, that sort of height. Whereas McGregor is, by, you know, the dedication of his size, is a key position player. You look at the size of them there. Jonathan Brown, if he gets supply now, he's going to bully his way to a pretty good evening.
Grows by 12 points as we start the second term in this Wizard Cup match at the Gabba. Umpire Kelsey puts it down, hangs over the head of McDonald, still got a hand to it. McLeod in trouble, the meat and sandwich, down he goes, Lappin behind him, Power in front.
And when he turned around, Andrew Crowell's been moved back onto him now. So Crowell, who is listed at 6'2½", and there's still a fair size difference between him and Jonathan Brown. So Crowell's got the job at centre half back now on Jonathan Brown.
Problem though for the Lions at the moment, they need more in the midfield. Clark beaten by McDonald, lays it down. Here's a chance for Headland, could have been taken high by Smart. Hand passes from his back. It comes to Shattuck. Shattuck pops on one knee, hand passes only as far as Crowell to Bickley. Bickley off his step, pops it out wide, and the mark is taken by Goodwin. He immediately plays on hard against the boundary line, probing kick inside the 50, working in front Binky. Getting back is Bolton, confronted, still he goes. It's across the line now and will be tossed in.
Easy guys,
Binky not happy with Copeland.
Concentrate on the footy,
having a chat to each other. There's Burton, who had an outstanding opening term. Kicked a goal and really set the standard. Just got him a little high there, and that upset a few people. Ball back into play. Bode leaves it for McLeod. Handball's just too wide, and it'll be ball in.
One thing Adelaide do, they just follow the ball around anywhere between the 250-metre zones at either end. They just follow the ball with numbers. They put a big pack around it at all occasions.
Hart tagging McLeod, as you saw. Now there's a free kick being picked out in all of this pushing, and it'll go Brisbane's way. Hand in the shoulder was the call, and the free was given to McLaren. Ends up with Brad Scott. Chris not playing tonight. One of those 9 that are out of this Lions outfit. Ashcroft gave it over the top once again to McLaren. Wide. Very close to the boundary line. Crowell in opposition to McDonald. Now it comes backwards again, and the Adelaide Crows trying to work it out of defence. Bickley got into the midfield, but now Lappin sprints onto the ball. But once again, Brisbane held up, playing into Adelaide's hands, allowing the Adelaide defenders to man up. Smart with a very smart punch outside 50. Headland caught by another smart effort. Kick toward the attacking 50, almost cut off by Stengline. Power pushing it back surely. Hart play onto advantage. No advantage there, and it'll be brought back.
Now, one of the problems that Brisbane have got is that they're playing, a lot of their forwards are being run out of the space. Ben Hart is dragging,
Daniel Bradshaw?
Darren Bradshaw, in fact, right up to the back line, and he's actually giving him a huge workout. Whether or not he's got the aerobic capacity, we'll find out. But when Brisbane go forward, there's no key forwards left.
Power kicked it forward. Unfortunately for the Lions, Bradshaw couldn't complete the mark. Goodwin caught. Handball to Bickley. Handball to Smart. The old heads combining. The bald head delivering to the wing. High one. Burton there. Bolton beats him this time. Burton lays the tackle. Too late. The delivery. Ashcroft. Headland. Getting a bit of it. Gone. Loose handball over the top. Gone was the call, and gone was exactly what happened. He dropped the ball there, Aaron Shattuck. Tackled by Smart, and he got the free. High kick to the top of the square. Clark drops back for Adelaide and takes the saving mark.
What news, Doc? Peter, are you there?
Yes, Dennis. Just interesting to say that the temperature's actually gone up since the start of the game, something Lee Matthews was mentioning beforehand. So rather than the conditions cooling down here in Brisbane, sometimes they can actually get more difficult as the game goes on.
Crowell out wide. This is Johnson. 26 plays 14. He's got 15 seconds, otherwise it's play on. Johnson down towards half forward, high ball in front. McLaren knocks it forward. Bode was taken high, stood up in the tackle. McLeod 55 metres out, pinpoints it. Stenglein couldn't hang on. Ackermanis, now Stenglein can hang on. That was a good tackle, forced the error. Bolton just inside the boundary line, under the pump, comes back to Bode, who goes off his step, sharp angle, just missed. In fact, it's marked in the field of play by Michael. So immediately given some latitude. Man on the mark is pulled back. Michael wasting no time. Tailor-made for Shattuck from behind. Up he goes and he takes the mark. Always going to be his. Lays it off. Power peels out of the back pocket to half-back. Has a bounce and moves towards the wing. Man down behind play. Didn't see what happened. Bradshaw being held. Chance for Clark falling to his knees. Gets the hand pass to Goodwin over the top to Hart. Couple of players on the wing. In front, Stenglein has to wait. Coming hard with Shattuck. Advantage could be paid. No.
Paid the push there.
Stenglein will get the kick then. Midway between half-back and centre wing. Centres the ball immediately. Smart's got it. Will kick for space. High ball inside the 50. They queue up. And Rutten takes the mark on his chest, but he pushed. So a free kick to go to the Lions. Morrison, Lappin, and now Bolton.
From defensive 50 to the outer side wing, cut off well by Hart, but he couldn't get it to a teammate. Johnson with a handball over to the younger of the two Bradshaws. The kick not so good. Power cuts it off. Handball over the top to Hart, who was down hurt a minute ago. Kicks it goal, and the heartache that he felt about a minute ago is gone, and he gets a new dose from an offline kick.
Gee, wasn't that an important takedown by Tyson Stenglein on Luke Powers? He handballed inside there. Had he not done that, it would have been a free run in for Lukey Power.
Even the best of them fumble on occasions. Hart dropped the mark, comes back towards the middle. Johnson arches the back. That's Graham chasing him, the youngster. Now Johnson kicks it up towards the wing. Rutten up in front. Bode, well done. Doherty driving it down towards half forward. It's dropped. Burton, though, with ample time to recover, decides to take them on, accelerates, comes back towards the middle. McLeod inside the centre square. He'll do something. Pinpoints it inside the 50. It's spilt by Shell, waiting behind Ashcroft. Hand on the shoulder, no free kick. Ackermanis the loose ball, gets the hand pass away. Now McRae across to Hart. Chance for them to move the ball. Kick towards the wing. Not a good kick. Bassett tidies up for the Crows. Takes it on the burst. Goes to McLeod. Settles. Comes to Bickley. Spins around, takes it behind the body, goes in short, and a good mark is taken by Rutten about 45 metres out.
Good sized kid, isn't he? There's a fair bit of him. He's presenting himself all right across the half-forward line at the moment.
He's only on the rookie list, which is a good effort to be in the seniors tonight.
You get a real good look at him now.
Lines this up, 45-degree angle. Captained South Australia's underage team last year, so has leadership qualities. You can see the angle and the distance, and that is a spear straight through the middle. Adelaide extends its lead.
Is back. Game over.
Crows by 17 points, 5-2-2-3, 11 minutes from half-time. Pleasant evening here at the Gabba now. Umpire Kelsey bounces it down. Clark flicks it down, taken by Edwards. High ball inside the 50, fisted away by Morrison. Chance in front for Scott, fell over. McLeod settles nicely, got it to Burton, heard the voice behind, not sure whose voice it was. Doherty put down by Hart, arriving quickly Johnson. Hart at the base of that pack, upended was Bolton. And we'll have a ball up.
It seems to me that the physical aspects of the game have gone up a notch in the last 5 minutes or so. There's been a bit more fumbling and a positional change. Luke Power's gone on to Andrew McLeod.
Well, they did seem to get a little bit more physical through the middle of the ground when they kicked their last goal in the first quarter. So it's evident that they're going to have a bit more of a say in there as well now.
Big hip and shoulder by Bode. Off play, Bickley gets the free kick for Adelaide. Wide ball, Rashudo. Just beyond his range.
He hasn't got a great left foot, has he? So if he had taken that and had confidence on the left foot, he could have run to about 45, 40 metres. Instead opts to go back for a set shot from outside 50, but he's a thumping kick.
He's capable of kicking it. I think you're right, Dwayne. It's outside of his accurate range, but these are once every now and again jobs, and he might just let go with a torpedo.
See if he proves me wrong. Kicked some great goals against Carlton last year at Princess Park to get the Crows season back on track. Nice captain's kick, just touched on the line by Big Bo McDonald. It's a behind.
I reckon he's the only Brisbane line who could have got a touch on that as well.
I told you it was just beyond his range.
They were both right.
And I thought they'll look back at that footage and know that next time it happens, somebody has to put some body pressure on Bo McDonald to take him out of the equation. He shouldn't have been left able to do that.
Play continues behind us, even though the cameras are showing you the scuffle. The Lions are going to go into attack here. Jonathan Brown is on his own, but the ball in the end came to Ashcroft. A high kick to the goal square. Offline. Brown was there in the goal square, unattended. He went for goal.
Interesting, the umpire, wasn't it? Yelling, "You've got a free kick. Come with me. Come away from it." That's the way they called it.
The bonus for the Lions was they had less scufflers.
And Chris Johnson has just gone down behind play. He ran into Nigel Smart. I think it was probably self-inflicted wound, though.
Crowell down towards left half forward. Burton looking to keep it in. Got him in the Steiner recliner. Down he goes. What news, Doc?
Nigel Smart was getting a little bit of attention from Scott then, and Scott came off worse for wear. Looks like he got a knee in the buttock. Could have got a corky out of himself.
He's not moving too freely. So a bounce close to the boundary line. Well, a toss-up, actually. Habits die hard. Stengline gets the hand pass away. Burton drives it long. Good-looking effort. Now it slides across the face. Off-hands. It falls to Shell. And Shell from 5 metres out gets the goal.
Value of keeping your...
If you've ever had to organise a weekend away, imagine getting 120 people halfway around the world on a critical overseas deployment. We packed 4 Hercules and a Boeing 707 with everything to make a squadron self-sufficient, from Hornet missiles to combat rations and medical supplies. At the end of the day, we realised it was a massive undertaking, and I was pretty proud of the team and myself for doing that.
The game has lifted in tempo a little, and there are players pushing and shoving behind play. Shell's first kick, a goal, and Adelaide lead by the best part of 4 goals. Clark doing the ruck work again for the Crows, but the ball in the end falls to Ackermanis. Wobbly kick. Brown had it. Little handball out, playing for the free kick. McRae, Ackermanis from 50. Big long left foot is a goal.
That is a booming drop punt on the run. Very few blokes can kick that well on their non-dominant side from outside 50 on the run. That's just exquisite. There's no other word for it. But they have stepped up their tempo through the middle of the ground here. You see Brown now presenting himself and just able to put the ball out in front of him, and he keeps forcing it forward. If he does that, the rest of the crumbing players know there's a big shirt front to run to and get past.
And he's probably 3 weeks away from being at his peak fitness, Ackermanis, given that he has had some problems with medication.
The Lions stay in touch. McDonald down to Lappin, dragged down. Did Edwards have the ball? He did, according to the umpire. Doherty hurriedly down towards the ill-tempered group. It's taken by Boat, gets a hand pass away. Well played, McLeod, brilliantly done. Releases Welsh. Welsh kicks and gets the goal. Just on the ground.
Well, it was a terrific reply by the Adelaide Crows. Often when a player like an Ackermanis, who's an inspiration to his team, gets a goal, it can be a team lifter. So important when those key players star that you write the scoreboard immediately, and that's exactly what the Crows have done. And Andrew McLeod has come into his own up in that forward line. He's just had a couple of deft possessions which have set up some successful attacking moves.
Finds the goals, doesn't he?
One kick, one goal, as Shell, the last goal kicker before Welsh, did to get himself into the game.
And Jonathan Brown has gone into the centre square. Now, if it's a bodgy bounce, I know he's not the designated ruckman, but if it goes his way, they've got an extra tall in there.
We get a good bounce this time. Rashudo there. Maybe a free kick to Adelaide. Play on to advantage. Handball over the top to Johnson. Clark. Rashudo just outside 50 when he unloads towards Binky. And the mark's been taken by Copeland. A couple of bites of the cherry, even though it's a yellow ball tonight. A couple of bites of the lemon, and he gives it to the man with the lemon rinse, Ackermanis, who has been on that medication, as Gerard told you, to get rid of his acne. Gives to Brad Scott at half-back flank.
Scott to Bolton. Still deep in his own defensive area. 45 plays, 22, approaching half-time here at the Gabba. And the Crows right on top, and you sense they've
Big
got an
pack of
appetite.
players. All the players are in one quarter of the ground here, following it around.
McDonald up in front, forced to Smart, who sends it back inside the attacking 50 for Adelaide. Binky flew high. This is Bode onto the loose ball, lays it back outside the 50. Binky slips, quick hands away. Edwards going at his second goal. It's not a bad effort. No, just off to the left and behind.
A couple of ex-Port Adelaide players combining there. Bode and Binky finding their feet at their new club. Lee Matthews in the box here. We'll be showing you pictures of the coaches all year, and don't their faces tell a story. Johnson, the quarterback from defence, kicks it very wide, and a well-measured kick to Ashcroft.
Interesting that the Crows electing to go with a zone defence. I think they were the only club last year that persisted, Dermot, with going man on man.
Predominantly they did, didn't they? It took them a few rounds, like halfway through the year, before they went with a zone. There was 14 men in that set up for the kick, so 4 men down the spine of the ground, way behind that zone.
Scott ended up with it, gave to Lappin. Just over 6 minutes remaining, second term. Adelaide just over doubled the Brisbane score. Lappin loads up, goes long in the end. Clark, front position with McDonald. Shark by Power, brilliance, broke the tackle. Bounce, inside 50, drop punt to the goal square. Shell got back, and it was offline regardless. And Power, who once kicked 16 goals from a forward pocket in an underage game, would be a little unhappy with that. He's normally accurate.
Shell in defence for the moment. Goes back to Hart. He kicked it to him. Drives it towards the outer side and Crowell. He's got the ball left half back. Coming on a searching lead is Bode. Not the best kick in the world, but drifting in from the side. Goodwin takes the mark. Wheels around immediately. Kicks to space. McLeod runs hard. Marks it right on the line. 46 plays 23. McLeod, half-distance pass. Johnson looking very precise for this time of the season, the Adelaide Crows, but not a great deal of pressure. Johnson, probing kick. Welsh! Always his ball in that pack. He was in position A. He'll kick from 15 metres out.
Interesting to note that McLeod got onto it in the middle of the ground. He gave away the handball to the kicker here. And Luke Power is the player who had the shot at the other end. They're playing on each other, so Lee Matthews has obviously backed Luke Power to be damaging against McLeod, because he won't have any real regard for his defensive powers.
Scott Welsh kicks the goal, increases the lead for the Crows.
I wasn't just looking for any old job. That's why I became an officer in the Air Force. There's a number of leadership careers. There's logistics officers, aerospace engineers, fighter controllers. It's really challenging and just so different.
Do you know why I always have Tic Tacs with me? Because one Tic Tac refreshes for 2 hours and has only 2 calories. So I can have 2 hours of Tic Tac freshness for just 2 calories. Great, huh?
So with just under 5 minutes remaining, second term, Brisbane in trouble at home. Clark towards Stengline, tapped it back to Clark, accidental. Rashudo Left foot, inside 50. Binky, back of the pack. No Crows home. And it's left for Mal Michael to mop up. Boat comes at him. Puts the pressure on. Wobbly Michael kick, but he's got the options. Lappin takes it in the end. Large pack of Lions near the ball. Kick comes toward the wing. Brad Scott. Bad handball. Cut off in the end. Well done. By Shell for Adelaide. Gives the handball over the top to Nelson. Back home after a stint with Carlton. Spearing ball towards Bode. Keeps it in play. Doesn't keep control of it. Gets Ashcroft a little high. McRae caught by Bickley. Ball comes up in the end for Graham. He got the handball out. Kick towards half forward. Hadley played for the free. Crowell close to the boundary. Little handball over the top towards Bassett. Close to the boundary still. Bickley thought about keeping it in, but
now, Dwayne, you're the one who knows some of the Adelaide players a little bit better than most. Bode, just looking at that, has he ever marked one above his head?
He, I think, was released by Port Adelaide for being not too quick. But I think he's lifted his rate a bit.
He just put up one hand. He put up one hand for an incoming ball.
That's a bad combination.
Doesn't bode well for the rest of his career, does it?
Slow and can't mark above his head.
He's got a chance.
There he is.
Hey, eat your words, the pair of you. There's Bode back towards the middle. McLeod in space takes the mark. Now he's about 65 metres out. Spots him out towards the outer side. Hart, he can run at them. Hart about 65 metres out, still goes in short, and Rashudo has taken the mark well within his range, we've got to say.
Let's cross over to Anthony Mithen while Rashudo lines this goal up.
And just talking about Matthew Bode there, he's dropped 7 kilos this pre-season, put in a huge one after managing just one game since crossing over from Port Adelaide to Adelaide last year. So really looking to cement his spot in the side.
He's down at 75 kilo in his book that they are about to release, the Adelaide Crows. That's not much more than jockey weight.
Obviously worry about being slow and not able to mark above his head. Here's Rashudo. He'll kick from 35 metres out. It's been pretty handy. Rashudo gets the goal.
Look what we've done to the place, Ma.
Look how we've doubled the space.
Good on you, son. We tried to do it ourselves.
But we needed some help. Done well.
And we got it all a night at 10. Ben?
10 out of 10.
Look what we've done to our place.
Gee, I really was picking up that rotten door.
Reminds me, you've still got my blame, Jane.
Look what we've done to our place.
Adelaide Crows looking to go in at half-time with a massive lead and may even put this game beyond Brisbane. The Lions have 2.5 minutes to try and bring that margin back. Clark knocks it down. They're good in the middle at the moment, Adelaide. Stengline just couldn't break free. Good tackle laid in the middle by Richard Hadley.
I gave Des Hetland a wrap-up about a couple of minutes ago because I followed him for about 250 metres, which was what he was doing prior to laying that tackle. Now, the kid's trying to make it in the midfield. He's obviously got himself fit. He's grown a bit. In fact, I mistook him for Jonathan Brown. But if he continues that work ethic, then the rewards will come.
McLaren got it to Ackermanis. As the ball comes out wide, a free kick to Scott, who was tackled.
Where you are now?
At the footy. Comes back. Interesting kick. Johnson.
Tony, where you are? Let him go.
Just inside the centre square out towards right centre wing for the Lions, who trail 23-58.
Well, Adelaide are thinking that's enough score for the Lions, and everyone is basically behind this ball now.
McLeod spiked it back towards the middle. Welsh is over the ball. Socket away by Luke Weller. He goes on to help in the tackle. Hadley over the top. And we'll have a ball up. Down towards left half forward. Sure. And now Scott comes off the ground.
Back, guys. We're out.
Meantime, back at the game. It's tossed up about 75 metres from Adelaide's attacking goal. McRae held a long time in the tackle and pushed, as the umpire, so McRae will take the free kick. Can they muster a late goal? He comes out wide, releasing hard onto his left side. Can do something here. Needs support, needs some movement. Goes down towards the pocket. Brown's in front. Good, strong grab.
Well, it's a funny game. Sean Hart, he started off tagging Andrew McLeod. McLeod went forward, which released Hart. He's held in such esteem that
Brownie,
all of a sudden now he is being tagged by Michael Doherty.
Thanks, pal. So Brown.
It will require a good kick from here, but not beyond him. He's come back a long way.
See that there? He's put his head down, taking his eyes off the man on the mark, and Andrew Crowell has backpedaled about 3 or 4 metres. So when Brown looks up, if he hasn't taken any note of it, marked a spot on the ground, he's going to get a bit close because Crowell's got about 2 or 3 metres to sprint at him once he gets to the kick. Watch him come forward.
Does that now.
Magnificent, Dermot.
Hey, how much are they paying you? You're a sneak, that helps. The ball goes out of bounds and we'll have a throw in. Well, that's pretty hard to top, actually. We're all very impressed.
He's done that well, though, hasn't he? He's waited till Brown took his eyes off him, and then Brown would have been looking at the umpires. How do you get that kind of leniency?
That's a logie right there. Don't worry about that. You can rest for the rest of the game. Boundary throw in. There's the siren for half-time. And the Crows with a big lead, 9-4-58 to 3-5-23. So the Lions, as we said, taking their first step to try and go back-to-back. They've lost quite a few of their big names for tonight, missing 9 premiership players. But even so, the Crows have had the appetite. They've gone about their business in very good fashion and thoroughly deserve that sort of lead. It's a big-time lead, 9-4 to 3-5.
Yeah, they've been impressive. And, well, Andrew McLeod, I think he moved up a notch in that quarter. They got good possession through the midfield. I think that they got right on top, and their big blokes up forward have done the job for them. Disappointing for the Brisbane Lions. They're just struggling to find a winner at the present time, and they really have got the job in front of them. They trail big time on the scoreboard. Join us after the break because the Nostradamus of Channel 9 will tell you who's going to win and why.
Versus gravity.
Man lost. Tuesday on CSI.
This is suicide.
Then why are you here, Sheriff? Defining a tragedy from a crime.
This drill is shorted out.
Is a difficult thing to do.
Do you think he jumped before or after he got the shock of his life?
When there's no evidence to support you.
The body says there was no crime and you're not listening.
Your case just entered a whole new dimension of weird.
I have only one suspect.
You don't go after a friend of mine. Actions have consequences, Gil.
CSI, 8:30 Tuesday on 9.
It can happen at any time. You're building a bridge or moving a fridge and you feel like you're just gonna burst. You sure got a thirst. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. You're shoveling sand or building a dam. You can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. Victoria Bitter.
Ford's having its final 2001 stock sellout. Drive away now and make no payments for 6 months. Check out the Summer Escape with $2,000 worth of extras free. Or the Ford Courier complete with $1,800 worth of free air. It's your last chance to secure a great deal on 2001 plate stock. There's limited numbers, so get into your Ford dealer before it's too late.
Now that's seriously twisted. But not half as twisted as Hungry Jack's Twisty Fries. With a tasty seasoned coating in a regular size for just $1. Now that is twisted, but only for a limited time.
The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
She's pregnant, alone, and looking for answers.
Adoption. There aren't alternatives. You mean they buy my baby?
But one case will drive her to a decision.
It's the baby they want, so they're not going to hurt it or me.
An undercover job only she can do.
There's the fetal heartbeat.
an emotion charge case that affects Peter deeply.
I wouldn't mind being part of the baby's life.
But is his change of heart too late?
Let's just leave it.
An all-new series of Stingers, 9:30 Tuesday on 9.
The AFL Pre-Season Cup, brought to you by
The Air Force, Holden,
Carlton Draft, official beer of the AFL.
Mitre 10, and choose happiness. Choose Cadbury.
Welcome back to the Gabba, where we look in on the Adelaide Crows room at half-time, and they'd be pretty content just resting themselves up, Jared Healy.
They would be, Dermot. Obviously, they'd be very hot and bothered, but always a hell of a lot easier to prepare for the second half if you've got a commanding lead on the scoreboard. I guess the challenge now is for both coaches. What does Gary Ayres do, and what does Lee Matthews do? Knowing that the game is almost beyond their grasp at 3-5 to 9-4, it's going to be tough, and Lee will have to reassess exactly what his priorities are in this second half. Does he blood the kids? Does he protect them from a shellacking, or does he just go all out for the win?
Scotty Welsh, 2 goals late in the second quarter. Brian Binky has also 2 goals to his credit, and Brisbane just the 3 solitary goal kickers. So let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. And Brett Burton was a bit of a handful for a couple of opponents, wasn't he?
He was, and great to see. We love Brett Burton, and footy fans right around Australia, I'm sure, hope that he has a magnificent season. And he got off to a fly. He was the star in the first quarter, quieter in the second quarter, but there you see him really just working at the ball, working himself hard. Robert Copeland was a very good player for the Brisbane Lions last year, but he's on one of the main men this time. A couple of the guns are out at the defence, and the question was, could he step up? He gave Burton a little bit of room, and he hurt him.
If you notice both those captions here and you watch, every time Burton's on the end of a ball, he's almost running away from the kicker, and he lost Copeland, and then later on, see, running away from the kicker, he's getting goal side of his opponent. He also did the same to Bolton. Bolton here now, see, he runs away from the kicker, and backmen like to keep their opponent in front of him. Puts him out, and he gets back on this one, just plays it down in front, and this ends up as a result of a goal to the Adelaide Crows. Binky getting on the end of that. Luke Power, a real goal sneak. He's had a couple of different jobs tonight.
He has, and I think that Luke is desperate to become a midfielder, and he will be one of the talented midfielders in the competition. It's a pretty tough job to get into the midfield in this side with so many great names, but he was an attacking player early. He got a goal in the early part of the match, but then he was put onto Andrew McLeod. So immediately he knows that if McLeod gets the ball, he could go on and kick a goal. But he's working hard. He's working hard on his defensive area. But I think Lee Matthews has to release him. I think he's got to go in and become an attacking player through the midfield, because they're getting belted there at the moment. And this kid's just so creative. Had a couple of opportunities. I think it was Chris Johnson running into the field of vision, but he elected to have a crack at it, as most good goal sneaks do, Dermot, but it missed.
Absolutely, yeah. He'd be pretty disappointed with the result of that one, because he does love the big sticks. Well, one bloke who likes the big sticks as well, and he had a reasonable year last year. He joined your club. Jason Ackermanis, did he bomb one from outside 50?
Yeah, Jason Ackermanis is a star player, and that left foot that he did kick reminded us of what I thought should have been goal of the year last year. He didn't win that award, but it was very similar. And let's have a look at it from the centre bounce. He gets the ball from the bounce, he follows it up, and he's under the pump from an athletic endurance point of view, because he's had a limited preparation. And that is just one of the reasons why he's one of the most decorated players in the game. A brilliant kick.
Well, we saw a bit of what we would call a melee form in the second quarter, and our cameras captured it. We should go to the tape and have a look what happens here.
Well, Dermot, you're the expert at this sort of behaviour. Take us through it.
Well, Nigel Smart there being cautioned by the umpire, and here he comes in. Chris Johnson came in.
He just turned at the inappropriate time, and he collected Nigel Smart's knee, which, look, I had the glasses on it at the time. It was a pure accident. If you're going to come into these fracas, Dermot, you've got to protect yourself.
Absolutely. Got the raised knee there, I think. Well, we take a look in the rooms now and see Adelaide up, and, well, the Brains Trust there just sorting out how they're going to increase this lead. You wouldn't want to protect the lead against a team like the Brisbane Lions. You can't protect a lead like this, even though it's handy.
No, I agree with you, Dermot. They'll go in for the kill, I think, the Adelaide Crows. They've come here on a mission to get away to a fly, and they've done it particularly well in the first half.
Well, we're going to take a break. After that break, we'll be back with a wrap-up of today's two other games played in the Wizard Cup. You're watching Nine's Wide World of Sports.
It was to be the biggest day of their lives.
Wedding dress, check. I forgot the rings. No!
But fate had other ideas.
Everything's fine. I just got a little bit delayed.
Sandra Bullock and Ben Affleck.
You really should get some thrills in your life before you die.
I think something may be wrong with you.
In the romantic movie premiere about the choices we all face.
I'm getting married tomorrow, and I cannot make myself leave this room.
This is the rest of your life, and possibly somebody else's.
Forces of Nature, 8:30 Sunday on 9.
The Monaro Man of the Match. Win a Monaro Hot Lap with Peter Brock and other V8 supercar drivers in an all-new Holden Monaro. Call now, say Monaro, game over, and register your vote for who you think is the Monaro Man of the Match. Watch the next game and the Monaro Man of the Match will be revealed along with the lucky home viewer. There's one winner every game. Get yourself a Monaro Hot Lap. Call now. Don't forget to say Monaro, game over. The Monaro Man of the Match.
1 hour. And I urge you, be on time. Urge?
She's got the urge to herbal. She got a herbal in the shower for another half an hour. Natural botanical. She's got the urge to herbal.
You boys aren't going anywhere.
Herbal Essences, a totally organic experience. Kleenex toilet tissue has extra thickness to make it Australia's favourite for soft, cushioned care. It's comfort made for down under.
I think growing up in South Australia is definitely an advantage to, you know, for me in particular, look at so many great athletes and so many great people growing up in South Australia. It gave me that confidence and that self-belief that we can make it, even though we aren't the biggest city, the biggest state in the world. We've got the opportunity given to us at an early age here in South Australia, and it gave me that inner self-belief that I was able to match it with everyone else who is, you know, trying to be the best in their chosen sport as well.
It's the world-first miracle cure developed in Adelaide.
The options was either lose a leg or try this.
Saving limbs, offering patients pain-free treatment. Adelaide's National 9 News, the faces you know, the people you trust, Monday at 6.
Welcome back to the Gabba, and at half-time we find the Brisbane Lions trailing by 35 points, 35-23 to a most credible Adelaide at half-time, 9-4-58. Single goal kickers to the Brisbane Lions and 2 to Scotty Welsh from the Adelaide Crows and Brian Binky also. Well, earlier today we had 2 other games in the Wizard Cup. We also had at Geelong, Richmond taking on the Cats in front of a crowd of 11,500. 12-7-79, the Cats ran out winners to Richmond 7-13-55.
And the major goal kickers for the Cats, Dermot, where Graham got 3, Riccardi 2, Burns 2, and White 2. And Ronnie Burns was a star, but Ben Graham led from the forward, and we see here coming out taking a very strong grab. And with that left foot boot, if he gets that on fire, he could kick 80 or 90 goals in a season.
Well, you mentioned Ronnie Burns, and he turned it on as well from outside. 50 down there and excited the crowd. Pretty good crowd for this time of year down there. 11,500 turned up. Matty Richardson just got the one and did it in pretty good style.
Yeah, Andy Callaway was their major goal kicker with two, but Richo was obviously well held. The Tigers had a lot of players on the bench after half-time, but this is what ruckmen are all about. If they can give you first use, as Riccardi received there, and a great goal, well, then they're worth their weight in goal, the big fellows.
Well, certainly goals have been a problem for the Cats in recent years, and Bomber Thompson had this to say about his captain, Ben Graham, in the aftermatch.
Benny kicked 34 goals from 15 games last year. So if you put another 7 games onto the season, he might have kicked 50, and there's not many guys in the competition that kick 50. He kicked 3 today, so if you average that by, or multiply that by 22 games, it's a 66 return. We just need someone to kick goals eventually, so if Tom and Matty can hold it down and young Daniel Foster can step up and play tall, then Ben might be able to kick his 50 and stay there.
Elsewhere, we had Carlton and the West Coast Eagles battling it out at Optus Oval. And the West Coast Eagles surprised a few here, Jared. 17-14, 116 to 12-9-81.
Yeah, we had a look at that game, Dermot. It was a nice old thumping. They got off to a great start, the Eagles, and I think they'd be all pleased for John Worsfold, their new coach. And Michael Gardner, well, he is a very fine player, and he stretched the Carlton defence without Steve Silvani and a couple of other players. But Troy Wilson was one of the stars. He got 5 goals, the 30-year-old recruit from last year. Brent Tuckey from Collingwood got 3 also. But Carlton just, it would have been a nervous Carlton hierarchy after the match because whilst they were, I guess, they were without a couple of big names, this was a pretty poor performance.
Brent Tuckey, pretty good effort from him. There he is, coming back into league footy, coming over from Collingwood. Kicked 3, as you said, but led from the front by Ben Cousins as well.
Yeah, well, Cousins is a superstar. This bloke was formerly of that status, and I think he's making another crack at it because he looked enthusiastic and he had all the run going through the middle of the ground and up forward, and he is very dangerous.
Get out of the way for that bloke, big Troy Wilson, one of your favourites already, Jared.
Yeah, he's terrific. Not many people thought he was going to be able to make it as a player. They took the punt over there, Ken Judge, and they gave him a chance, and he's taking full grasp of it.
Well, Johnny Worsfold coached his first game as senior coach of the West Coast Eagles. Let's find out what both coaches had to say at the completion of the day's play.
Oh, I was certainly a little bit toey just at the very start of the game, just not knowing what to expect and how I was going to cope. But the preparation and certainly having that extra time to prepare for this game, I went in knowing that I'd covered every possible scenario, so I was comfortable. And now I've got to front up again in 6 days and be ready to go again.
We just lack cohesion, like all over the field. We just were out of sync, and that, like we've got another 4 games in 5 weeks to try and work all that back in together. We handballed when we should have kicked and kicked short when we should have kicked long. We just didn't make the right decisions around the ground with the footy.
Wayne Britton, no panic button pressed there yet, Jared. A smile on his face still.
Yeah, if it's still there in a few weeks' time, he'll be happy.
We'll take a break here and be back to the Gabba.
The Critics' Choice comes tonight in a brand new series from the Academy Award-winning creator of American Beauty.
We all have problems.
Don't blame me if you're not living the life you want.
Let's just invalidate my entire life.
Challenging, daring, and moving.
You are so cool.
A groundbreaking premiere drama starring Golden Globe winner Rachel Griffiths.
Love that look. You'll be completely satisfied with our work, I guarantee it.
6 Feet Under. Premieres 10:30 Monday on 9.
Footy fans, if you have the passion, we have the power. The power needs you to cheer them to victory in 2002. And the smartest way to do it is with a season ticket. Prices start at $110 for adults and $39 for children for 11 home games, including Showdown 12. For all inquiries and to get the best deal for you and your family, ring the Power Hotline now on 8447 9900. Don't waste your passion. See the game live. Ring 8447 9900 now.
Casual Living Furniture have Adelaide's largest range of outdoor furniture. For a short time and only until sold out, outdoor settings, benches and umbrellas out at up to 40% off. Make your outdoor living casual living. Keswick, Marion and Enfield.
As an athlete and a mum, I'm very aware of what my children and others eat. They love Nutella, and it has about 40% less fat than most peanut butters, and about 10% less sugar than many jams. Nutella really is more than just a delicious taste.
Must be stuck in third.
It's the world first miracle cure developed in Adelaide.
The options was either lose a leg or try this.
Saving limbs, offering patients pain-free treatment. Adelaide's National 9 News, the faces you know, the people you trust, Monday at 6.
Inferno, a living, breathing hell.
Keep your head down. Are you scared? Sometimes, yes.
A baptism of fire for the heroes who save lives.
You've got to be willing to push yourself beyond your limits.
When Nissan presents A Current Affair.
Welcome back to the Gabba, and we see the Adelaide Crows leading the Brisbane Lions here on this splendid summer evening. 9-4-58. Brisbane 3-5-23, roughly a 6-goal lead, 35-point lead. Gary Ayres there, be pretty happy with his charges at this point in time. Well, let's go down and find out some news on an update on one of the stars so far, Brett Burton. Doc Larkins, you've got some news on him.
Yeah, Brett Burton hasn't returned to the bench, Dermot. He's had a nasty laceration to the scalp, which they've spent considerable time trying to stop the bleeding and put stitches on inside. Hasn't returned yet, so you might suspect there's still some trouble there. And Ken McGregor, they're suspecting just medial ligament damage, but that could be 4 to 6 weeks.
Doc, Brett Burton has snuck out, and he's got one of the biggest patches of goo. What would you put on the back of your head there if you were trying to stem the bleeding?
Oh, they're using the old hemorrhoid cream, the Rectinol, Dermot, which has got some adrenaline in it, and it's used to stop bleeding, and that's a good thing that they put on the head as well.
Thank you, Doc.
I hope Brad Scott doesn't find out what's on there. He's standing, Burton. Just about set to go for the start of the second half.
Is that legal, Doc?
With the margin 35 points. 9-4-3-5. Scott Welsh has put in 2 goals for the Crows, the only multiple goal scorer along with Brian Binky. Other than that, all singles. Away we go. And the Lions work back into this. McDonald knocks it down. Socket off the ground by Ackermanis. Taken down was Doherty. Fell to him, says the umpire. It seemed to come out fair enough, but it's going to be a throw up inside the centre square. There's Burton. He started very well. His characteristic high marks. McDonald knocks it down. Crowell couldn't control it. Bickley goes after it with courage.
Look at the numbers in that pack there once again. Adelaide just swarmed the ball in the middle of the ground. There's Brett Burton, had a very good first half. I think he's got his 3rd opponent now. Young Ashley McGrath.
Thrown up yet again. McDonald taps it down. McLeod in the grasp, lost it. Ackermanis throws it on the boot. High ball inside the 50. Coming hard was Hart. Got a fist on it. Knocked it outside the 50. Good one to Bickley. Nicely done. McLeod running through the centre. The kick comes from Rashudo down towards the pocket. Sliding there was Shell. Dropped the mark. Picked up by Michael. Rebound opportunity for the Lions. Taken by Scott. Kicks it high through centre wing. Stenglein with courage. Fingertips to it. He didn't hang on. He took one high though, and he's going to get the free.
Pretty game kid, isn't he, too? He won't stay down unless he's cocked it hard. Let's have a look from this angle. Yeah, that's smart.
Time on, Tyson. Time on.
As you heard the umpire there, time on called.
Ooh, that's the angle.
Ooh, yeah.
Stenglein wastes no time now to Clark, the big man running to get the possession from behind. Burton with the cream on the head. Plays on from the wing, had an outstanding first term. Kick to the leader, Binky dives. Didn't take the ball with him, no free kick. Ashcroft comes up with it. Headland, left foot around the body, close to the boundary line. Burton up. Mistimes his flight this time.
Let's have another look at this, Dwayne. It looked like a free kick in the forward line. As we go to the slow-mo, and he was all over him, but Darren Goldspink was right there, and he said, no way, Jose.
That was Weller who gave him the half push. Rutten doing the ruck work. Ball knocked out towards Lappin. Caught a little high by Rashido. Doesn't get a free.
Gee.
And the umpire, has he called it ball?
Yep.
Well, there's been several of those go tonight when the player's had his head down already, picking the ball up. Hasn't ducked into it, but the umpires have let it go. They haven't paid that, so the player should learn the trait of the umpire on the one night.
Rashido to Clark towards Hart. Now Johnson caught. Good tackle. Hammond might get rewarded here. He doesn't. It'll be a ball up.
Still like to protect the player if he's got his head down for the ball. If he ducks, he's another kettle of fish. But if he's got his head down over the ball, you're entitled to protection.
Clark backhands it down, intended for Edwards, emerging with it Lappin. Hurried kick through wing, down towards half forward. Nicely done by Crowell. Then he ran into trouble. Brown worked him down. Free kick to the Lions, wasting no time. Power, well done. Hart should run into an open goal. He's shepherded, and he kicks the ball along the ground and puts it through.
He's a good architect, little Luke Powell, isn't he? You just saw that one again. He can look over his right shoulder a fair distance. Most blokes have that peripheral vision, which is fairly tunnel-like. In league footy, you find it spreads out a little bit more from your park footballers. But under the pressure that league footballers put you in, so he's come from a pack here, gets up to his feet. There's players all around him, and there it is. He's able to pull it over his right shoulder with that left boot, and just, he's the architect in that one.
First goal of the half to Brisbane. And Hart found himself on his own. Slotted it through.
Easy.
29 to 58. Clark doing the ruck work against McDonald in the middle. And once again, this outer circle doesn't allow a big run up from the ruckman. McDonald comes up with the ball. Loose-ish handball. Lappin diving in. It comes in the end to Goodwin. High kick to half forward for Adelaide. Binky. Weller with the big fist. Knocks it down. Chance here for Graham. Go hard enough. McLeod to Rashido. Handball over the top. Bode caught. Tackled. Play on, says the umpire. Now Binky. An equally good tackle. Brad Scott. Will he be rewarded? Finally, a good hard tackle. Gets the free kick from the umpire. Brad Scott to Lappin.
Took two brilliant tackles there to get rewarded.
The combination of the two finally was overwhelming for the umpire.
Accumulated time in possession, I think.
Ackermanis quickly holds him up. Acker short-ish, dangerous, but McGrath, brother of Essendon's Corey, came up the ball loose now. Lappin to Ashcroft, messing around in defence now, the Lions. Ashcroft to Lappin again. Now McRae. They've created the loose man. McRae back again to McGrath. Right foot kick wide, looking for a target up forward. Just out of play. Brown threw it back in. And luckily he was out of play when he did it. And it'll be tossed in. Not a free kick to Adelaide.
Just spike over the top here. That's as good as it gets.
Nigel Lappin getting plenty of the footy too. 17 possessions so far. Had a season's high 33 against Melbourne. Round 12 last season. Ball inside the 50 for the Lions, but Bode's in the way. Looping hand pass.
Good running.
Yes, good one. Bassett down towards half forward. Rutten fingertips to it. Couldn't hang on. McLeod arriving quickly. Getting back was Bolton. Taps it towards the line. McLeod can't keep it in. Boundary throw in. Why a smile? 58-29. Adelaide on top. It'll be tossed in. Just outside the attacking 50 for the Crows. They body up. Rutten knocks it forward. Goodwin couldn't control it. Now he can. Well, almost. Lappin again. Knocking up, getting possessions. Graham around the outer side. Probing kick. Good one too. The diving mark is taken by Darren Bradshaw. Hard against the boundary line. Good lead, honoured by a good kick. Bradshaw will kick inside the 50. Lions needing plenty of goals in this term. Well done by Brown. Checked short of the ball. Crowell ran into him and bounced off, not surprisingly. And Brown took the mark.
That's that body size we talked about a little bit earlier, just before half-time. with McGregor going off. Crowell's not a small man. Let's have a look at the sizes here. Sees him coming, and that's a big body just saying keep away from the drop zone. And Crowell has to go a second time too late and just tears at his arms. Mark or free kick, whichever one you want. It was definitely a mark in slow motion though, Dennis.
It was.
Interesting that Mark Bickley at no stage had his eyes at all on the ball. If he had turned around and followed the flight of the ball, he would have been able to just simply turn it around and punch it away or go for a mark.
Brown going at his second goal, and he steers it through. So they're coming the lines.
The Monaro is back. Game over.
The first 2 goals after the main break to the Brisbane Lions. And they're starting to find some momentum. McDonald, V. Clark in the middle, Bickley. Tapped it to Doherty. Caught by Ackermanis, pushed in the back by Ackermanis, in fact. But he did hold play up, and that's what he was intending to do. Edwards to Johnson, just inside 50. Tough angle. Lappin on the mark, standing virtually on the paint of the 50-metre arc. Johnson thinks about a short pass, thought better of it.
10 possessions. He's opposed to Nigel Lappin, who's he's knocked up 21 possessions, so he's almost doubled him. So he's got to hurt Lappin going the other way.
Can he do it with a goal? Drop punt, not bad off the boot. Mark in the goal square by Shell. Just inside the line. The ex-Fremantle boy returned home to Adelaide, starting to provide up forward at full forward where there is a hole in the Adelaide Crows makeup, and this is one of the bad rules of AFL football.
Now, what he should do here,
in the goal square, do you have to go there?
He doesn't. The easiest way is just to walk up, place the ball by the goal post, and just knock it over. He doesn't have to even kick it. He can just.
That's croaky. Well, you can see Shell celebrating Adelaide goal.
Well, I'd agree with you, Dwayne. I think it's one of the dumbest rules that you have to go back that far. One way of exploiting it, though, is you can just walk up, place the ball on the goal line, as long as it doesn't roll over. This is a replay of the great mark.
Good job.
And then just kick it over the line, which takes the man on the mark out of the game altogether. But nevertheless, it's irrelevant. It's one for the barroom discussion or the lounge room discussion, but he's got the big goal.
It's exciting though when you see a kid who hasn't really done a lot in league footy do something quite spectacular like that. You actually turn around to yourself and say, is that the thing we're going to remember the night we saw him take a big grab under pressure, and his career just took off from then, because he was just in the system for a while and not much happened to him.
Crows by 29 points. Ball hangs in the air a long time. McDonald thumps it down. Doherty tries to force a passage. It comes to Edwards. Breaks away. Nothing on that side, so he works back. Well done.
They're on.
Johnson. Now a chance for Goodwin. What a powerhouse midfield it is. Goes inside the 50. Binky works in front. Couldn't hang on. Loose ball at the back. Hacked out of midair by Michael. Doherty from behind got a fist on it. Punches it back inside. Bowed hurriedly across the body. Good-looking effort. I think he's got a goal. Beauty.
Coming out of defence, he's storming through the midfield, out on his own, looking good. Oh, look at that! Oh, we'll be looking at a video of that on Monday. Oh, just unbelievable.
Golden draft, thanks.
Come in and see the good guys.
We'll slash the price on Samsung box unit cooling systems, slash the price on Technica upright ovens, and slash the price on Samsung reverse cycle split system air conditioners. The good guys. Pay less, pay cash.
Brisbane came out after half-time and kicked the opening 2 goals of the second half. Adelaide has since responded with 2. Bounce, Clark, power, Hart. Out of the middle for the Lions. Inside 50. Once again, they haven't got a marking player up there to take control. Crowell just made the contest hard enough for Goodwin. to Johnson. Took the mark just before Luke Hammond could spoil him. Rashudo, Hammond chasing. Rashudo long towards Burton. Can't mark. Brad Scott in opposition to him, and what a good job Brad Scott did on James Hird in last year's grand final. Contested centre-half forward. McDonald went for the soccer off the ground. Bad option. Better option, McRae handball to Power. Runs to 55. Drop punt. Ackermanis. Goal square. Plays on. Kicks the goal. 2 goals to Ackermanis. And the Lions are not lying down.
Well, once again, Luke Power actually held on to the ball, in danger of going his full 15 metres with the ball before disposing, but he was actually waiting for something to unfold. Probably would have liked something to come towards him and short pass straight at him.
Shepherd brilliant there, Durham.
Yeah, the hard Shepherd was a big effect on it, but he then worked out that Ackermanis would have had the pace, and he put himself on a worse angle there, Ackermanis, with his 15th disposal. Brings up another one for the Brisbane Lions, and they live. They're still in this with a slender chance. They need the next one for sure.
2 goals to Ackermanis, Brownlow medalist, who finished 4th in the club best and fairest last season.
Fair run at the footy, guys.
Heard the instructions. McDonald and Biglands that time. Spills wide. Power comes away with it. Kicks down towards half forward. A nudge. More than a nudge. It's going to be a free kick to the Crows.
Big push, Brownie.
Crowd, big push. They work it out. Hart's hand pass. Rashudo, defensive side of the wing, kicks towards centre-half forward. Burnt launches himself. Couldn't hang on. Hacks it out of mid-air, though. Well played. Down towards the pocket. Coming through as McLaren. Sends play back towards the outer side. In fact, it was Weller who booted that one towards the outer side. McLeod, too slick there for Rashudo. Couldn't hang on. Spinning through the traffic, doing it well. McDonald got it to Hart. Ashcroft sent into space. Still he goes, Marcus Ashcroft down towards half forward. Good kick. Bradshaw takes the mark.
Second searching lead for Darren Bradshaw out onto the half forward flank, but it holds up play here. Just a sea of Adelaide players ahead, and only 3 Brisbane to 5 Adelaide Crows.
Long way from goal. Sneaks the kick just inside the 50. Crowell goes up with intent and knocks it across the boundary line.
I think Gary Ayres, Dermot, should have a very close look at Luke Power. He's running side by side with Mark Rashudo, and they're playing a little bit wide of each other. But Power seems to be accumulating more dangerous stats, and he's the one bloke trying to get this mob back into it.
McDonald tapped to Hart, runs to the top of the square, and kicks a dream goal for Brisbane.
How are you doing?
Hey, good.
What you got?
Remember me?
Cadbury Favorites. People Magnet.
So the challenge is coming now. The margin back to 23 points, 11-4-7-5. Just under 8 minutes till three-quarter time. McDonald over the top, knocks it down. Goodwin had it, lost it, socket off the ground. Rashudo down towards half forward. Edwards couldn't trap it. Burton could. Throws it onto the boot, down towards the pocket goes the kick. Michael tries to angle the punch away towards the boundary and gets it out.
Now, Michael doesn't get big stats, does the job every week. And they reckon the insiders say he was fairly close in contention for an All-Australian honour last year. Jared.
Rashudo goes to ground. Johnson's got the run of it. Doherty put him on the ground. Copeland soccers and gains about 15 metres. So can the Lions bring the margin under 20 points? They need the next goal. Tyson Stenglide prowling the boundary. Meanwhile, a boundary throw in. Outer side. Rucks go at it. McDonald over the top. Taken away, though, by McLeod. Kicks it very high. Bolton works in front. Rutten reaching over the top. Down went Weller. Loose ball inside the 50. Ashcroft with courage. Claimed immediately by Johnson. And the umpire will want it.
Neither bench has been used all that frequently in comparison to some of the other pre-season games that have been played so far. Adelaide Crows inside 50. Good tackle by Goodwin. Stopped Luke Hammond in his tracks. Luke Hammond.
Thanks, Hammer.
He barracked for Carlton as a kid, but was quite happy to be drafted there. Number 18 on screen by the Lions. Come up and live in Brisbane. Power through defensive 50. Crowell with the punch away on the wing. Ball falls free. Bode. Handball to Nelson. Handball ricochets though. And now it's the Lions with an opportunity for the kick. Smothered. Once again, brilliant piece of work by the evergreen Bickley. Stopped McGrath's kick from going inside 50. Lappin dives in. Lays a tackle. And once again, we see the intensity lift.
Did you just notice at that last stoppage, we had umpire Darren Goldsmith. He asked for the ball back from Luke Hammond and he said, thanks, Hammo. He hasn't played a senior game yet he knows him on his nickname terms. Study the players, the umpires as well.
This is Goodwin breaking away from the congestion. High ball through the centre. Have a let bounce awkwardly on its point. Johnson arrives quickly, knocks it forward. Now Edwards, both he and Johnson fall over. Rutten concedes, goes back to Hart. He's at left half back, spots a man in the middle and gets it short to Rashudo. Quickly away, releasing Goodwin on his left side. Kicks inside the 50. Up in front, Binky couldn't hang on. Burton arrives, lost it, close to the boundary line. Knocked across by Ashcroft, who apparently was pushed in the back.
Thanks, Brett. Dan.
The veteran. Off his step. This is Power. No Crow near him. Look at that. He's got about 30 metres, and Smart is hanging back, just running with his man Lappin.
Well,
So
they're trying, Dennis, to force him to kick the ball. They're dropping their men back. They want him to kick it, and that's probably why their tackle count is well down tonight.
eventually he gave it to Scott, who kicked inside the 50. Bassett was hanging on apparently, and it's going to be a free kick to Bradshaw. So the umpire seeing a fair bit in the last 30 seconds or so. He is hanging on. Well done by the umpire.
Just to back up your theory there, Jared. Brisbane Lions, 34 tackles. Adelaide, who are a hard tackling team of last year, only 17, so exactly half. So they're almost retreating from the ball carrier, saying, go on, kick it at us. You know, we've got the numbers back here, take us on. We're not going to let you go any further, but you must dispose of it in our direction.
Darren Bradshaw, the younger of the two Bradshaw brothers, who was hounded by Bassett in that marking contest. Kicks at goal from just outside 50, starts at left, brings it back, Brisbane goal.
Look what we've done to the place, Ma.
Look how we've doubled the space.
Good on you, son. We tried to do it ourselves.
But we needed some help. Done well.
And we got it all in might at 10. Ben? 10 out of 10. Look what we've done to our place.
Gee, I really was picking up that rotten jaw.
Reminds me, you've still got my plane, Jane. I don't want you, Bub.
Look what we've done to our place.
The fifth goal of the term for Brisbane. Adelaide has kicked 2. And we're yet to see a behind kicked in this third term. It's been accuracy from both sides. Can they continue to put the pressure on Brisbane? McDonald, Lappin, Headland. Around the body inside 50. Marking contest. Bassett the thump. Got it to ground. And both teams giving it their all. Anthony Mithun on the boundary.
Stand up. Sure, boys, really enjoying tonight. They've never played a game of football together. There's a bit of a fracas in front of the goals there. And Jonathan Brown really throwing his weight around as well, boys.
Do you like how Brown came in at the end there and just put the big left-hand mitt around the back of one of the Adelaide Crows players' necks and just squeezed and pushed him down until the umpire said, let him up.
Thrown up, Biglands over the top. McDonald comes back towards Biglands. Falls eventually to Edwards. Gains about 15 metres, and being held on the outer side was Doherty. He's going to get the free kick. He's been quite impressive.
Scott Welsh has come onto the ground. Dennis, they've looked a little bit tall at times in this quarter, the Crows, and they're throwing a smaller player up.
Doherty. Burton, up he goes, couldn't hang on. Goodwin throws it on the boot only as far as Ashcroft. Inside the centre square, spots a runner, that's Johnson. Out towards right centre wing. The Lions showing plenty of pluck at the moment. They're coming at the Crows. 70 plays 53. Johnson in short, low down. Bolton's got it. About 70 metres from goal.
They need to get an extra player back there because Brown, one out, is going to mark the ball most of the time.
Crowell's got him at the moment. There's Brown up ahead. Not the spot to go to, though. He's come out very wide.
That's a minefield. Have a look at the numbers back there.
He's dropping back now, though, Brown. Had plenty of company. Knocked away by Bassett. Edwards did well. And they can work the ball forward. This is Scher just on the ground. Goes in short. Bickley. Bickley squares the ball yet again. Bode. Nothing much on down the ground, though. Goodwin running hard across. He won't get there in time. Doherty's in front. Now the cavalry arrives. That's Goodwin. Well played. Slaps the ball across towards Bode, putting the body in McRae. Copeland hand passes quickly. Headland falling to the ground, kept it alive. Well worked. Bradshaw back inside. McRae held a long time. That tackle lingered, and McRae will get the free kick.
That's the modern day Kevin Bartlett bounce, that one, isn't it? You know you're going to get tackled, little handball out in front.
And then take the dive. Short pass. And Bradshaw, again, an opportunity at goal.
The thing I've liked about him this quarter is he's actually led up to blokes under pressure around the midfield half-back line and given them a 50-50 option. So when they're under that pressure and they're looking forward, you just don't want to blaze away. You want to have somebody near the end of it, and he's been that player that's given them a target when they've come forward.
You can see the angle there. Tough kick, but he kicked 14 goals in a QAFL game last year. To put his name in front of the selectors for the Lions. Long kick just across the face. Could be a mark on the goal line. It's being disputed. It could be the other Bradshaw, Daniel, that will be paid the mark, but we'll have to wait and see if it's a behind or a mark. Bradshaw to Bradshaw, and Daniel will have the shot on, again, the most acutest of angles. Bassett not happy. Hardy, 2 metres. Bradshaw goes to McRae, but he won't be allowed. I'll bring it back.
Gee, that's good to hear the umpire in that situation, isn't it? That's the whistle, is it? That brings it on now. They're back on time.
Big kick this. We're approaching three-quarter time. Kick around the body is a goal. The Lions are coming.
Well, that's something out of nothing then. The amount of those balls that get marked, a big pack, they're all set, they're all waiting on the goal line, and somebody somehow marks it. They happen about once a month for a team. In league standard they do. And Nathan Bassett, I don't know what he was complaining about. That's as clear and as plain as the nose on the end of your face.
But it's a couple of goals now that they've allowed to slip through their the Crows. But they do lack some experience. They lack an absolute gun to be the general on that defensive area. That should never have been marked. And the one that Bo McDonald's touched on the goal line also. They're just missing out on that both defensive and attacking goal lines.
6-goal term from the Lions. Just over a minute before three-quarter time, showing plenty of self-belief. I guess that comes with the territory, winning a premiership. It permeates the entire club. They're looking terrific. Undermanned, but working very hard. Biglands with a backhander. Akamanis throws it on the boot. Down towards centre-half forward. Goodwin stood his ground. It ricochets back inside the centre square. Johnson in trouble, got the hand pass away. This is smart, looping hand pass over the top. Goodwin has run on, kicks inside the 50. In front, down there is Shell, knocked away by Michael. Taken in front by Rashuda, back to Shell. Now outside the 50, Burton from about 52 metres out, spots a man and gets it to Scher. It hung a long time in the air, but it got there in time. Well, there you go. So Scher's got this free kick.
He's arguing his own decision there. Umpire Brett Grolsbing.
It was miffed that somebody questioned it.
Yes, good shepherd there. Just put the body in behind.
Scher after the mark then. Shot at goal. They need a steadying goal. And what's he done? He's missed.
Johnson to bring the ball back into play. Important seconds to end this third term coming up. The kick is precise. Lappin. Eats up some more of those seconds remaining in the term. Wide kick, looking for Daniel Bradshaw. He's got a push in the back, and it's three-quarter time. The Adelaide Crows will go in with a lead, but it's not as convincing as they would have thought it was. Adelaide 11-5, 71. Brisbane 9-5, 59.
Yeah, it was a pretty impressive performance by Brisbane to come back and give themselves half a crack. Just a couple of goals down now. They'll go in full of confidence. And the reality, Dermot, is that if they can't win this match, the Crows, they are in awesome, big trouble, because they've got a very senior list here in Brisbane.
How far would you go for 50 grand? Regular Aussies with extraordinary tickets.
I can't feel my legs.
You won't believe what they have to go through.
Damn, that hurts! Everyone stay calm.
This will get your heart racing.
You know who's number one?
All Australian, the premiere of Fear Factor, 7:30 Tuesday on 9.
You can get it dipping. You can get it chipping. You can get it having a row. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. Victoria Bitter. You can get it lumping. You can get it thumping. You can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. Victoria Bitter.
Whew. You got to be quick if you want the NEC bargains at Keith Bowden Electrical. Whew. Like this great NEC ChromaVision big screen TV with full stereo surround sound and true-to-life picture. Plus NEC video recorders, just like the movies.
And he'll never believe the price from Keith Bowden only.
At Keith Bowden Electrical, we never advertise price.
Keep coming back. Keep coming back. Birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mom.
Then I learned a special poem that's in it today.
Love to hear it.
Okay. The boy stood on the burning deck, his pockets full of crackers. One fell down his trousers leg and blew off both his...
Have you had anyone? Deco, for every occasion.
Order a robe this month from the standard wall span range and we'll update the finish to our exclusive homestead or Stanford doors for free.
New Palmolive Fruit Essentials Scented Shower Gels. Juicy from head to toe.
There are many of you. There's you, the homemaker, and you, the homeowner. You, the gourmet, the paramedic, and the diplomat. You support the world, but who supports you? You are one of 4 million Australians who aren't getting enough sleep. The kind of deep sleep you get on a bed that uniquely cradles and supports your body, as no other bed does. Oh, I love this bed.
High performance from Sealy Posturepedic.
We support you, night and day.
Hey, dudes. They're sucking you in.
Exposed. Virus marketing. Devious. Sneaky. The latest thing in advertising.
Whoa, look at the results.
And you don't even know you've been had.
If you know you're being marketed to, we're not doing our job.
Also, from the front line.
This is crazy. Children, stones against tanks.
Richard Carlton confronts Yasser Arafat.
How this can be accepted?
When Toyota presents 60 Minutes, Sunday.
The AFL Pre-Season Cup, brought to you by the Air Force, Holden, Carlton Draft, official beer of the AFL, Mitre 10, and choose happiness. Choose Cadbury.
Beautiful evening here at the Gabba on a Saturday evening. Brett Burton almost pulling one down from up in that beautiful atmosphere. What a leap. Brisbane clawing their way back into it in the third quarter. 9-5-59, came back from a 6-goal deficit to just be 2 goals down. 11-5-71 Adelaide. And well, it's been a fantastic evening so far. We've got a little bit of everything, and Jared Healy, who's alongside us, he has had the magnifying glass out also.
Yeah, Dermot, just using the telestrator to illustrate what we're talking about. Daniel Snell has taken the mark just in this position, and he wants to go back straight out. Now, the rule suggests, or the rule tells the umpire, that he has to line him up with where he marks the ball. Here he comes in now, and he's going to line him up with that position on the line and the centre, which means he has to bring him right back, and we'll just hold it there. He's got to bring him right back. So if you mark a point from there to there and run a straight line through, that is why you're going to see the kid go and mark the ball from the impossible angle. Now, we'll just hold it there still. What he has to do, the player comes up and lines up the mark on there once again. All he has to do is walk up, place the ball there, reintroduce the place kick, Dennis, and I'm sure you'd love that because you're a great fan of the old place kick, and then just roll it straight across the line there.
Don't include me in that.
Which would take out the man on the mark. I saw Grenville Dietrich do it in a State of Origin game in South Australia.
If you mark it in the goal square, you should be able to go straight back.
I'd agree with that, but unfortunately the rules don't allow you to do it. Just wanted to bring you in, Dennis. You're the only one here that saw the last place kick.
Bounce to start the final term, 11-5-9-5. This is Lappin. He's trying his heart out, running down towards half forward. Can they get an early goal? It's a lovely looking kick. It'll fall in short, or will it? Nobody got to it. It's a goal. How about that for a start?
Well, that's the one they wanted. And he has been in fantastic form tonight. 23 possessions at the 1 minute mark, or inside the 1 minute mark of the final quarter here. Watch it unfold from behind the goals. Now watch, Lappin has no body pressure on him whatsoever. So once he gets a centre bounce takeaway, he can go all the way to just inside 50. He's got to have touch feel on him. If he's going to get that kind of supply from the ruckman, he's going to turn into shreds in this last 20 minutes.
Captain's goal for Nigel Lappin. And it's 1 goal the difference. Bounce in the middle and Lappin again. Possession number 24 off the side of the boot. And McLeod's got it. Just beaten for the Brownlow medal by Jason Ackermanis last year. Wobbles it inside 50 to full forward. 1 grab, 2 Welsh. Top of the goal square. A chance for an instant reply.
And they're desperate for one, the Crows. They're playing without confidence at the moment, and Andrew McLeod, as he's going to need to do for most of the season if they're to prevail and get a spot in the finals, has given them a spark from the middle. But I think it's, despite the fact they've lost a little bit of run through the middle, it's up forward that they need to really get some winners.
Welsh to restore the 2-goal margin from 3/4 time, and he has driven it straight through.
The sale at Kmart Tyre and Auto Service has the tyres for small cars. 155 R13 for just $39 until March 2. Call 13 13 28. The sale now on at the store. Kmart Tyre and Auto Service, home of low prices.
3-day reserved grandstand seats at the Clipsal 500 Adelaide are going fast, priced from just $112.50. So book it fast now on 131246.
Well, the centre square proving absolutely vital. 12-5, 10-5. Goal for goal. And quick goals at that to start the final quarter. Clark goes up, knocks it down. McLeod delayed the hand pass. Got it away, though. The high ball from Rashudo. Gains about 15 metres. Plenty of Lions up. Slapped out of there by Hart into open space. Now a chance. Running onto the ball is Johnson. Spots Ackermanis. Dropping back is Bradshaw. He'll go to Bradshaw, who can turn around. If he can control the ball, he can't. Well, it's across the line. Too much carry on the kick. Would imagine even a couple of weeks down the track, Ackermanis wouldn't do that. Just a metre too tall. Watch it again. From inside the 50. Oh. Bradshaw and Crowell got across in time.
Hart to the other side from the kick in. Goodwin Outer side still, and it's a good mark on the wing.
Oh.
And a little bit to go on with from Perry. Ian, here we go.
There's no way he could have got up any quicker right now. You have to wait.
How's that for instructions? You just come off the bench and umpire Goldsmith lets you know about it.
It's good instructions from the umpire, though, isn't it? He gave the reason why he couldn't get up.
Perry long, looking for Burton, couldn't fly this time. Hart knocks away from Bode. Johnson, the Lions Johnson. Lappin, great captain's game from him tonight. Bad handball here. And they tied up the Brisbane Lions. Brad Scott lays the tackle as we go down to Anthony Mithen on the boundary.
Thanks, Blaine. Intensity's certainly lifted since three-quarter time, and it's no wonder, particularly from the Crows. Gary Ayres was plenty of brimstone out there at three-quarter time. He was straight off the bench, ready for the players as they huddled in and gave him a good old spray. Want to win this one, the Crows.
Kaplan goes down. Rashido emerges with it, going nowhere, though. Clark's over the ball now. Will he slap it out? He's still got it. It's slow to come out, and eventually a belated whistle.
Well, it'd almost be embarrassing if they didn't win this. I mean, they're a side that think they've got a chance of making the 8, and their list suggests that. They come here with a full list, and Brisbane have got half a side in. If they went home with their tail between their legs, it'd be tough to find some positives.
Kaplan kicked it towards the outer side. Ackermanis away, a second bounce, running down towards right half.
Chase for McLeod.
The Crows are dropping back. McLeod is running hard, but Ackermanis gets in range and kicks the goal. The Crows self-destructing there. You can't back off forever.
Ackermanis is just about as close to a fourth-quarter specialist as you could have in the game. He's a pretty fit character, and he doesn't lose pace when everybody else's go down after 3 quarters, and he just bursts away from this pack. Look, he starts behind Bode there, gets the split, and I tell you what, Andrew McLeod was stiff to get pipped for the Brownlow last year, and he put in some big yards trying to get to him. He just gets into screen there from behind.
But after his last kick, when he misjudged the kick to Bradshaw, don't you have to make him kick it again? Don't you have to go and meet him in that situation?
There comes a point in time where you've just got to, you just can't keep backing back. I'll tell you what, Andrew McLeod, if he hadn't been in Victoria at the moment, he would have got pinged for speeding. One of those cameras would have picked him up. He was flying in pursuit.
He wanted him.
But just like the Brownlow, couldn't quite catch him. Lappin out of the middle. 5 points to margin now in favour of Adelaide. Play on to advantage.
He's hurt.
Bickley to Rashudo. Johnson looks for a target up forward. Wobbly kick. No one can take the mark, and Johnson comes up with it for the Lions. Wide. McRae from the wing. Spearing ball. Brown can't mark it. Crowd gave him a little nudge. Bassett through traffic to Adelaide's half. Crowd. Half-back flank. Spare man midfield. Edwards. Bickley. Important kick. Long ball inside 50. Lions with the spoilers. Burton down. Handball over the top. Johnson to Shell. Goal.
Gotta go. Gotta get away and go to the Caravan Camping and Off-Road Show.
Follow this year's feature, Caravans to Camping Gear for the Family Getaway. Bring the kids, the weekend entertainment's free. And don't miss your chance to win a caravan. Test your towing skills. Learn to reverse with experts. Plan your family getaway. Wednesday, February 27th to Sunday, March 3rd. Royal Adelaide Showground.
Gotta go to the Caravan Camping and Off-Road Show.
Entertaining term, this one so far, and still plenty of time left. 13-5, 11-6. Rucks go at it. One down by McDonald. Bickley's hand pass to Rashudo. It's going to be a Crows free kick. It's coming back to Clark. No, Bickley.
Initial free kick was for Bickley. He was being held. Umpire just thought it might have been able to pay advantage, and then he reversed his decision.
Johnson swings it out very wide.
Keep running.
Doherty, 60 metres from goal, honours the lead down towards the pocket, and Welsh has got it. He's booted 3 so far after starting on the bench.
Just while we get the lineup on this, Simon Goodwin's gone off the ground. He put his head over the ball and he looked to suffer an injury. We'll cross down to Peter Larkins. What's wrong with him, Doc?
Yeah, just got stunned a bit, Dermot. He's come up pretty well. They took him off as a precaution, had a quick word with him. He's out of medical hands now, just resting on the bench, but I think he was just stunned for a few minutes. Wasn't knocked out, but I expect him to come back.
Let's kick this one. Welsh That kick had eyes. Straight through the middle.
VAF Research make home theatre systems that are so good they've earned rave reviews. See and hear the latest in home theatre and hi-fi in Adelaide's most exciting sound rooms, from compact lifestyle systems to VAF's state-of-the-art home theatre. VAF systems and free advice are only available direct from VAF's Kent Town showroom. Specially priced packages are now available. VAF Research for award-winning sound from the experts in home entertainment. 52 North Terrace, Kent Town.
Crows consolidate, but Simon Goodwin and cops a knee to the side of the head there. That's why he's on the boundary, and that's got a smack. Got a bit of elbow on there as well, you reckon,
I think
Jared?
it was a combination, too.
Okay. It's got to hurt, whatever it was.
It's got to be illegal as well. 89 to 72.
There was a free kick awarded and play on advantage. Yep.
Still time for the Lions.
Well, these centre bounces have been almost Russian roulette. There's been very few scrimmages. It's been pretty clear traffic going both ways. It's vital for the Crows now that they've got their lead to really just man up.
Main two ruckman back in action. Once again, Clark and McDonald. Doughty got the kick to half forward. Bode. Handball to McLeod. Misses the target. Edwards with his handball. Lappin. Almost a throw. Clark on hands and knees. Shovels it out to McLeod. Gets away from Copeland. Runs inside 50. And has kicked the behind. Two-time Norm Smith medal winner, who has been able to produce twice on the biggest day of the year. Couldn't quite produce then.
And speaking of Russian roulette, Jason Ackermanis is playing that. He's going to the bounce and then running forward, and he hasn't got a man. He's just as likely to finish on the end of this. He's running there with Clark.
McLaren around the outer side, got it from McGrath, kicks it down towards half forward. In front is Power, fisted away by Stengline. Too high on Brown. Rashudo, advantage is paid. Headland runs away, goes inside the 50. Bacon goal square, kicks the goal. They're trading goals.
But the game's freeing up a bit, isn't it? I mean, as they get a little bit more tight, the blokes who do have a bit of fitness are actually running away from scrimmages at the moment and getting the breaks from the half-forward line and run into within goal-kicking distance. And it just seems to be raining goals for the last 5 minutes or so.
There's Headland, who removes the eye-ring when he plays for the Lions, but normally sports one in regular life.
And for his reward, he's been pushed into the defensive area to pick up what looks like Burton.
So a big task. 2 goals to lead a game.
Johnson's come off the ground, and they've brought another runner on.
Conventional setup here, both teams 6-man forward lines.
And manning up a little more at the moment. Ball comes out towards Doughty. Handball towards Stengline. Caught. Good tackle. Gets the handball away to Edwards. Perry. Bolton beats Perry to it. Finds the line. And gets a free kick for being held. Well, it was close to being delivered out of bounds. But he played it well. And the line comes up with the free. Canberra boy. That's as close to deliberate as you're going to see. Half-back flank. 2 goals the margin, Adelaide's favour. Crow, big leap, good fist. Goes in for the crumb. Handball to Edwards. Gets caught by Hart, close to the line. Gets up, gets the handball away. Crow takes it out of play. And Hart, not a happy man, shakes his head and the ball will be tossed in.
Well, it did look as if it was a free kick there. He tackled him well. Wasn't given too much prior opportunity, but he could have got the ball away. He elected to take him on. I think he should have been pinged there.
Margin 35 points at the major break. The present time it's 12, as it was at quarter time and 3/4 time. Headland picks up the loose footy. The hand pass not successful. A slap on was. And it came towards Lappin from Shattuck. On his knees, Burton did well to Clark. Edwards, with more time than he knew, eventually measures the kick out wide. Opportunity to go forward, but the kick goes directly into the oncoming player, Copeland from Johnson. Copeland's getting a free kick.
Well, they haven't shown consistency on that tonight.
Well, that was a terrible decision.
Copeland forward of left half back. 90 plays, 78. Goes to centre half back with the kick. Just watching the earlier action. McGrath, meantime, pops it across to Scott.
Well, they're going a man apiece now. You'll see them running one-on-one everywhere across the ground.
Scott for distance. Good kick too. Over 50 metres spotting this man. Brown.
That just shouldn't happen to Crowell. He's a very, very quick player, Crowell, and should have covered the ground with him. Must have got lost on the initial stages of the lead. McRae's free.
Ignores McRae, at least initially, and goes for distance. Coming hard. Bassett missed it. Ackermanis grabs it. Well, gets underneath this one. They'll contest about 15 metres out. Edwards backed himself twice against the footy. It ricochets off his body and goes out of bounds. Good result for the Crows.
That was the proverbial pinball. There wasn't a hell of a lot of science in that. That could have gone to the spare player for Brisbane or the boundary line, which got the Crows out of trouble.
Edwards on screen with Hart alongside him. As Dermot told you, most going one-on-one now. Lappin also has a tag on him. Ball forced to Nelson, the ex-blue and double blue from South Australia, returning home, playing for the Crows, kicks to the wing. Ball knocked up. Chance here for the Crows if they can find McLeod. He was waiting out for it, gets it now. Burton gets away from Shattuck. Left foot kick inside 50, and Welsh takes the mark. Tough angle. Takes some time. He has 4 from 4 kicks. And even the behind at this stage of the game might be handy. It's a 2-goal break. It's got about 10 minutes remaining in the final term. Premiership player, not with the Crows, but with the Roos. Drop, Hart. He brings it back. Has he brought it back enough? Not quite, but the behind makes it 13 points with about 10 minutes or less to play. 7.5, in fact.
As we say in the classics, a handy point.
8.5, in fact.
Well, this kick has virtually got to go to the right-hand side of screen, and it does, because they've only got one player to the left-hand side of screen, the near side, as you're viewing now. Brisbane pushed them all out there.
Ashley McGrath with the footy. Drives it long up towards the wing. Some holding there on McLaren. No free kick. Clark got a fist on it, knocked it away. Here's Bode. Played pretty well, particularly in the first half, and gave it straight to Power. That fixed him. McRae from half back. High ball towards the wing. Copeland sees a man out wide. That's Hart. Lays it in front of him. Hart, oblivious to those players running around the boundary outside, which could have been a little off-putting, but didn't put him off. He finds Brown. And Brown within scoring range, but will he take a shot from here? Hard against the fence.
Just disappointed in the chase there of Brett Burton. We've sung his praises all night, but it was his man, Sean Hart, that was loose. He was about 50 metres away, and he could see that the ball may finish with him, and he ran about 3/4 of the speed at which he ran when he had the ball running towards goal. And when this could be a vital shot at goal, if it goes through, all of a sudden the Lions are back in with a real chance.
Jonathan Brown, his side down by 13 points. Kicks from 45. Beautiful looking effort. Just off target.
It's amazing, that one, isn't it, Jared? History is littered with some racehorses who run quicker with the ball than they do without it. And common sense tells you that you should run quicker without the ball.
Well, it's just such a desperate point of the game. They have got a lead, so I guess the human nature says, oh, you can take it easy a little bit. Somebody else will kick the ball and it won't be fingered upon me. But it's those sorts of efforts that are the difference between your winning and losing often.
Didn't know you knew so much about gelding, Dermot. Short chip to Crowell, centre half back, hands off to Rashudo.
As soon as it came out, I knew I was in trouble.
This is Johnson. Adelaide Crows just playing possession football at the moment, looking for the loose man up forward, and it's Hart. Drifted down from half back, too far out to score, about 65 from goal. Runs to 55, drop punt to the goal square, up they fly, big leap by Shell, off hands, a behind.
Well, they've got good return out of Shell and Welsh. 8 kicks between them, have reaped 7 goals. So that's a great return from those two boys deep in the forward.
Played 18 minutes. McGrath onto the loose ball. McDonald plays on immediately. Headland on the wing, down towards half forward. Spears the kick in, taken by Hart. Wants to go and does. Good hard running from Shattuck. He runs inside the 50, pops it over the top, and the mark is taken by Brown once more. a little closer to goal this time than he was when he took that last shot. He's probably about 30 metres out. Still a very sharp angle. What's he learned by the experience?
So I like the way he keeps playing the game in a mental aspect. When Bassett came over and grabbed him, he still actually pushes him back pretty hard just to say, feel the strength in my body, son, or mate, and know what it's going to be like to come up against me when the ball's in motion.
Notice he didn't look down that time, did he?
No, not for the same.
He's learned his lesson. Your Logie, his lesson. Here's Brown. Deep in the pocket. Lions needing this goal. Slides this one across the face. And it bounds on the full in the opposite pocket. 92 plays 78. And we've played just over 19 minutes final term.
Could have brought it back to an even 2 goals had he even scored a behind then. But out of bounds on the full. The worst possible result for the Lions. Hart for the Crows. Wide to the wing. Copeland up with the spoil. And will gather the crumb. Handball around Bassett. Casual Brown now about to be made to pay on the wing, holding the ball. Free kick to Adelaide. Brown's casual approach there, costing him. Get off the ball now. And that was the voice of the umpire, not Crowell, who receives the free.
Keeps playing the game, doesn't he? I mean, the umpire, it's dead, the ball's there, and he keeps leaning on the opposition, just makes them feel him all the time.
If you know Goldsmith, you know he likes the microphone. He knows he's wide. He kicks it to Rashudo, just outside 50. Time running out for the Lions. Rashudo, long bomb to the goal square. He just misses. Another behind.
Interesting next time we see Jonathan Brown have a shot for goal. He wobbles the ball around incredibly in his run-up, and I mean, he has kicked some very big goals in big matches, and he just may have loosened up that technique a little bit, and it's hurting him.
14 points the margin. Time now the enemy of the Lions towards the outer side. Goodwin's camped over the ball, left it behind. Nelson spins in and out of a tackle. Got the hand pass away to Edwards. Across it comes to Burton. No, this is Johnson. Johnson kicks inside the 50 towards the pocket. There's Burton. Almost the tumbling mark. Couldn't hang on. The ball still inside the boundary. Only just Binky with plenty of company. Down goes McGrath, met solidly by Burton. And the ball has crossed the line. Welsh, who took a heavy fall, attempting a mark behind Shell, and as you can see, collected the post, I think, on the way down.
And that's why those posts have now got 5-inch padding in the old.
Bolton, high kick around the outer side. Rashudo, timely fist, angled away, out of bounds.
Had shades of Stephen Silvani going into the post last year against Hawthorn, round 2 or 3, I think, and hurt his back, but he seems to be all right on the boundary line, which is good news.
Big pack of players around this ball in, just outside the Adelaide Crows, attacking 50. Rashudo, well tackled. Ball raked free. McLeod is over it. Tries to soccer it. Nearly got the head of Copeland rather than the ball. And there'll be a ball out.
Don't you love Rashudo? If he was a rugby league player, he'd be invaluable. He took 2 tacklers to take him down, which means, by definition of numbers, you've got 1 more on his feet somewhere else on your side.
Ball up. Hart breaks the ball free. Long torpedo inside 50. Adelaide with the numbers. Bassett couldn't mark the ball. Ball free. Power just overruns it. Johnson there can't grab it for the Lions. Comes back to him though. Through traffic. Chance to kick a goal. Goes with a pass around the body, and McRae has it 25 metres directly out.
Well, Johnson's creative. He kept at the ball then. It was an occupational type possession here. Just stayed at the ball all the time. Flicked it over the shoulder. Thought he was going to blaze away, but good vision there to spot McRae.
23 minutes gone. Final term. Is there time left? McRae, drop part. It's a goal.
It's the one question that's changed the whole face of quiz shows.
To share or to shaft?
James shafted Jan, Mary shafted Debbie, Luke shafted Mary, Rosie shafted Cindy, and Paul shafted Jason. Seems no one wants to share. That's Shafted, the new quiz where mind games are always being played. Join Red Silence for all the drama and tension of this devilishly addictive new game. All new Shafted, 7 o'clock weeknights on 9.
Just over 2 minutes to go, we're told. 8 points the difference. And Brisbane keep on coming.
Open side of the bandstand circle. This side, Lappin will be there.
McDonald backhands it down into space. Chance for power. He runs onto the ball. McLeod runs onto him. Wrestles him down, and they both immediately stop and look back towards the umpire.
Pretty generous, the umpire there. Luke Power took him on. He put his head down and had no intention of getting rid of the ball, but that's the way you tackle, and that's the way you chase.
After it was thrown up, Clark on top of it, and this is all-consuming time as far as the Lions are concerned. 93-85.
Wasn't it a great tackle, the side-on shot, when you saw McLeod get hold of him, jump off the ground and push his legs forward under him?
I don't think I've ever seen anybody more committed to the pursuit and tackle ever than Andrew McLeod.
Clark has been handy, only as far as Hart. Ackermanis kicks inside the 50. Lions could do with a mark here. Behind a chance for Johnson. Open goal beckons. He's got it. There's time enough.
Well, there's some real interest in it now.
Well, is that why that's such a bad decision from umpire Goldsmith? Had he paid that holding the ball as he should have, the Adelaide Crows would have been inside 50 and not conceding a goal.
Good positioning there with the body of Clark, got it down to his feet, and they're just winning the ball at the stoppages now. The Brisbane Lions in the last couple of minutes, they're not getting it forward with any great style, but they're winning at the stoppages. The more bounce downs, the more ball ups, the more throw-ins, Brisbane are a bigger chance to get this last much-needed goal.
2 points the margin for those who don't like to know how much time left. You're getting it your way. Crows into attack. High ball, every possession even more important than ever now. Binky ties it up for Adelaide. When he gets a couple in the pack for his trouble.
Obviously they saw something they didn't like, those Lions.
Well, you wouldn't want to give a free kick away right now. Any player from either side.
Matthew Clark has dropped back, extra player in defence.
Burton, 49 metres out, high bomb to the goal square. Welsh beaten for it by Mal Markle. Good saving mark. Lions, Hart, back pocket.
Pressing now, not running away from the player, just pressing now, and it's worked to their advantage.
Handball to Scott, kick sloppy, cut off by McLeod. Long launch, Michael set in the goal square, punches down, good tackle laid by Binky. Ball spills, Edwards, handball over the top, doesn't seal it, stolen by Scott. And the Brisbane Lions will come from defence.
9 seconds. Scott around the outer side. Runs outside the defensive 50.
Got to come at him.
Still he goes. Scott running up towards the wing. He's on the wing now after about 5 bounces. Chips in short. Can they get a goal? The hand toss comes across to McRae on the siren. It's all over. And the Crows have prevailed by 2 points. Oh, what a finish.
Well, they were brave, weren't they? And they were down by 1 point shy of 6 goals at half-time, the Brisbane Lions. And Adelaide have somehow managed to just claw onto this win. Good win for the club, though. They're starting to get a little bit of a mental aspect over Brisbane Lions. They beat them up here last time they were beaten on their own dunghill, so to speak. And they've done it again tonight. Not in convincing fashion. They've almost been run down, but it's 2 wins away from home.
And almost run down by a Brisbane side without Michael Voss, Alistair Lynch, Martin Pike, Chris Scott, Justin Lepage, Clark Keating and Darryl White, all missing from their lineup. Anthony Mithen on the boundary line.
Thank you, Dwayne. I'm with Mark Rasciuto, and it's nice to be playing for something. You knew all about it in the last few minutes.
Oh, did we ever? They come back hard. They're a good side. We knew at half-time they'd come back and have a real crack, and they did it, and yeah, it was good to hold on.
What's your main mission in the Wizard Cup? What's the area that Ayresy wants to work on?
We want to get into good form. We've had 2 shocking starts the last couple of years. We've been none and 5 and none and 3, so we want to get off to a good start so it's not so hard at the end of the year.
So you're pretty fit at the moment?
Very fit, but we still need the match practice and the match fitness, and yeah, we want to get into good form, so it's good tonight.
And you're still getting in and under. You played every game last year. You'd want to keep up that record this year.
Yeah, for sure. I want to lead from the front, and it was a good win tonight. We're just going to keep going now.
Good captain's effort. Good on you, Mark. Thanks for joining us. Back to you, boys. Mark Rasciuto there. 25 possessions in his final statistical check there. Led from the front. Wasn't a dominant player for the evening, but
did his bit for them. Jason Ackermanis, 20 possessions also on the opposition, and gave them a real chance with a couple of big booming kicks out of the middle there. But there's the victorious Adelaide Crows team. They worked hard for it. And then we see the Brisbane Lions trudge off. A young team, they gave a few opportunities tonight. Nigel Lappin there had plenty of the ball.
Just looking at a couple of the young players, in particular one, Michael Doherty. I think the Crows have unearthed a midfielder there. Just the use of his hands, I thought, was pretty intelligent and showed a little bit of poise. So they'll be pleased. They got away with a win. They found a couple of players, and the Birdman almost took mark of the year.
It's the Adelaide Crows by 2 points here at the Gabba. We'll be back after the break with all the wrap-up.
Premiering 7:30 Tuesday, Fear Factor on 9.
Australian Unity Smart Star. Who's looking after you? Sometime this evening, a bangtail was murdered. I saw her face.
Your vision's about me.
Flash, definitely. He's really outdone himself this time. This ain't killing for profit. This is ritual.
It's not safe for you to go out.
I think I'm well past the point of safe for town. You're in very real danger.
From hell.
Jack the Ripper's not finished.
Many upmarket moisturizers claim to work on one or two of the signs of aging. Some claim to reduce fine lines, others claim to work on skin tone, and others on blotches. A moisturizer was rated higher overall by consumers than 3 well-known prestige products. Total Effects from Olay. It helps fight the 7 signs of aging. So love the skin you're in.
With tip-top sunblast right now, you can spell and win some of Australia's favourite prizes. Just collect the lucky letters in every sunblast pack. There's thousands of prizes.
Tip-top's the one.
Because no one wants to get caught out by a sticky floor, there's new Jif Oxygel. Its millions of active oxygen bubbles power away sticky dirt. For a smooth clean your feet are sure to enjoy. New Jif Oxygel, because your home is for living, not just for cleaning.
Coming soon on 9. The 44th Annual TV Week Logie Awards. Proudly sponsored by B, Clear and Simple. Now is your chance to vote for your favourite programmes and personalities. Look for the official voting form in this week's TV Week and you could be a winner. There are 2 luxury holiday packages to win at Crown Towers, Melbourne, including your chance to mingle with the stars at the TV Week Logie Awards. TV Week on sale now.
Australian Unity Smart Star. Who's looking after you?
Tuesday on 9.
From 7:30, you won't believe what these guys have to go through to win 50 grand. All Australia. The series premiere of Fear Factor at 8:30.
Man versus gravity.
Man lost. This is suicide. Then why are you here, Sheriff?
An all-new CSI.
Then
There's the fatal heartbeat.
she's pregnant, alone and looking for answers in an emotion-charged stinger.
Still the One. Tuesday on 9.
Coming up, the All Guns Blazing Sam Peckinpah Classic, complete and uncut. William Holden and Ernest Borgnine star in The Wild Bunch, next on 9.
Scenes from the victorious Adelaide Crows room where they recorded a 2-point victory in the final wash-up. 14-9-93, defeating Brisbane 14-7-91. Actually got out to a 35-point lead at half-time. Goal kickers, Jason Ackermanis came home with 3, Brown 2, and also Hart, who had a very good game. And for Adelaide, Scotty Welsh 4-1, Shell 3, Binky 2, and singles to Rashudo, Edwards and Bode. All right, now let's take a look at our magnificent competition here on Wide World of Sports. The Monaro Man of the Match. And what you have to do is dial that number and see if you can correspond with Gerard Healy and myself tonight with the Man of the Match, and you could win a hot lap. And there it is, 1902. And let's go to last night's winner, Ian Smith from Gawler in South Australia, who voted for Stuart Lowe. A hot lap coming your way. All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights of the game tonight, where the Adelaide Crows came home by 2 points. Andrew McLeod was just brilliant in that. Watch the tackle here, Gerard, and he just takes him all the way.
I've never seen a bloke chase as hard and ferociously as this fella. And I thought that once Luke Power tried to evade him, he'd had prior opportunity, and I thought it was pretty lucky that the umpire didn't award the free kick. But I mean, they'd be wrapped to get the win, the Crows. They've got a few problems. They go inside their forward 50 so many times, and yet their conversion rate is well down. But at the end of the day, they have had a victory. You look at the centre breaks here, they are incredibly in favour of Adelaide. And you look at that centre break statistic, and you would think that the Adelaide Crows had won quite easily. I think their midfield and their defence is pretty sound. They haven't got a superstar defender. They could do with one there. But with that sort of domination with centre bounces and actually beating Brisbane at their strength in the clearances where they're well ahead, they should have won this game by 6 or 7 goals. And yet, historically, we know that their inside 50s are well up there, right up there as much as Brisbane Lions, and yet they just cannot kick some goals.
Running bounces there are 3 to Brisbane's 29. We do know that last year, season 2001, Adelaide were the lowest bouncing of the ball team. They do prefer to get it on quickly by foot, preferably over a long distance. Well, that's the tale of the tape there. Let's go down to the rooms with Anthony Mithen. What have you got for us, Mitho?
Yeah, well, it was game on. I've got Gary Ayres with us, and it was certainly game on there at the end. You wanted a good hit out. You got it tonight.
Yeah, we did, Anthony, and, you know, I think really, you know how hot it is up here for us, because obviously we haven't had that much hot weather, but, you know, it's a testament, I think, to their conditioning, but also, too, to come in and play against the reigning Premier and get a win. You know, first off, it's pretty important for us.
So where's your conditioning at after watching 4 quarters of footy? Do you get a gauge on that?
Well, I think so, because obviously it's pretty warm, and they were talking about the wet bowl temperature being 27 or something like that before the game. So I think really it's a reasonable testament to where our preparation's at. And I think probably what I'll do this week now is just be pretty careful with them, Anthony, because we don't want them to be too flat, obviously, coming in next week.
Yep. Fair to say that your forward structure has caused you a few headaches, but you got things going out there tonight.
Yeah, I thought we did, you know, a return of 4 goals from Scotty Welsh and, you know, 3 from Daniel Shell and a couple from Brian, Binky. So I think really if we can work on that now and show that the structure is capable of, kicking a score, well, that'll be a little bit of patience on the coaching staff, and the playing, side of things is really got to be a thing, because, there's a lot of new blokes in that forward structure. So the best thing will be patience and time.
So can we expect you to throw things around the forward line for the remainder of the Wizard Cup and next week against St Kilda?
No, look, there won't be many changes. I'm extremely happy with the sort of 26 or 27 we've identified for the Cup, and I don't think I'll be making too many changes at all.
Good on you, Gary. Well done tonight. It's a win in the Wizard Cup. You're off to a flyer.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Gary. Now, Doc Larkins is with us too. You've got an injury update. How'd you go, Doc?
Well, the main concern would be Ken McGregor with his knee injury in the first quarter. It has confirmed there's probably a medial ligament tear, grade 2, which is a medium severity. 4 to 6 weeks potentially for him, so that's a bad start for him coming this stage of the season, but he should be right about round 2 or 3 if it turns out to be that. Just earlier today's games, Ben Holland out of Richmond with a hamstring injury at a mild level, probably miss 1 week, possibly 2. And also Jeremy Humm from the West Coast, who was knocked out today but fortunately made a good recovery. So really out of Ben Holland and Ken McGregor tonight, they're the 2 injuries of the day.
Pretty happy rooms down here in the Adelaide Crow camp. It's back to you, boys.
Thanks, boys. Great skills down there in the rooms. Well, let's take a look at the Wizard Cup. There's been enough games played. We can take a look at how it is performing. Group 1 there on the top. Those 4 teams haven't played yet. Group 2 sees the Fremantle Dockers on top there. Group 3, Geelong and West Coast both recording wins, and St Kilda and Adelaide with a win each. Let's take a look forward now into the future days, the coming days, and see what we've got for you on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Next Friday night, Brisbane v the Melbourne Footy Club. Jared, you'll be hoping for a win there this time.
Well, I think the Demons would be desperate for a victory. They had a shocker yesterday, and, well, in the heat, the wet bulb temperature will be through the roof. There'll be no IV drips, perhaps after the game, but not during the game. But she'll be hot, and a test for both clubs, both losers.
Well, that will be followed by a double header the next day. Carlton v Geelong, Essendon v the Western Bulldogs, and we'll have a live telecast of the Blue Diamond Stakes. Kevin Sheedy has a little nag running around for him. Bella Spree, who's been very good for him lately.
Oh, I don't know a lot about racing, Dermot, but Kevin Sheedy's smile just continues to grow, so it must be a pretty fair horse.
And we follow that up with the ING Cup in the cricket from the Adelaide Oval. Adelaide taking on Queensland, start at 11 a.m. Good evening from the Gabba. Good evening to Jared Healy. Thanks for joining us once again. See you plenty of times throughout the year to come. This has been another proud production from Nine's Wide World of Sports.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports. The AFL Pre-Season Cup, brought to you by the Air Force, Holden, Carlton Draft, official beer of the AFL, Mitre 10, and choose happiness. Choose Cadbury.
Ever wanted to tell your mum that she's wrong? Tell your dad that he doesn't have a clue. Now 5 celebrities can do just that in a 2-hour millionaire special that's all in the family. Celebrities include Bardo's Sophie Monk and her mum, Big Brother's Ben Williams and his cousin, Toddy Goldsmith and her dad, Getaway's Ben Tark and his mum, plus McLeod's Jessica Napier and her dad Marshall. A celebrity millionaire special all in the family, 8:30 Monday on 9.
This news break is brought to you by Bank SA Home Loans.
Good evening, I'm Jo Hall. A fierce storm has lashed Sydney's southwest, bringing down trees and wrenching roofs from houses. Flash flooding trapped cars on highways and power was cut to hundreds of homes. Ricky Ponting's now a leading contender to succeed Steve Waugh as Test captain after being named Australia's new one-day skipper for the tour of South Africa and Zimbabwe. A senior army officer is insisting he told the press secretary to former Defence Minister Peter Reith allegations about the Children Overboard affair were false 3 days after it was supposed to have happened. The Queen Mother has joined other members of the royal family at Windsor Castle for Princess Margaret's funeral service. Her body was later cremated and her ashes will be interred alongside the remains of her father, King George VI. And a surfer is recovering after being bitten on the foot by a shark just south of Noosa on Queensland's Sunshine Coast. The weather, showers for Darwin, mainly fine in Brisbane and Perth, and fine for the other capitals. And that's all for now. Good night.
More Australians get their news from Channel 9 than from any other source.